You lost your edge, she lost attraction for you. That's how it works.
What'd you think she was gonna do? Tell you she cheated? Men cannot afford to get complacent in relationships. Get your fat ass off the couch, start lifting weights, and learn game. You're welcome.
And now your man,
Donovan Sharpe.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 1068th edition of TSR Live, your daily dose of toxic masculinity, misogyny, and small dick energy. It is Monday, May 20th of 2024. It is good to have you guys in today. Let's get to the announcements quickly. Follow me all over social media. You can find me on Instagram at Donovan Sharpe TSR, rumble.com/Donovan Sharpe. TSR, or TSR at TSR Donovan, rather, is where you can find me on X, Facebook. Just look for How to Relationship. That's how you find me. Guys, be sure to join our Discord. We have all kinds of fun over there. We post memes, we post videos, we talk about how bitches ain't shit. We advise each other. It's a really cool community over there. The link is in the description. Our Discord is a lot of fun, and it's very, very live. It's very, very live. I'm very, 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 very much looking forward to that. To get your hands on my 3 free ebooks, the best of which is Dead Bedroom, The Cure for a Sexless Relationship, head on over to tsracademy.com, plug in your very best email, and these 3 ebooks, which are absolutely packed with rock-solid, life-changing information, are yours at no additional charge. Guys, be sure, you need to sign up. You need to sign up to mint for Red Pill Lions NFTs. Red Pill Lions NFTs. You guys know we're giving away all kinds of free gear, all kinds of merch, never before seen and never will be seen merch. To holders only, this stuff will not be available anywhere else but here. In addition to all of the benefits you get from the NFT, here are my personal contributions to the utilities. We will be giving away 5 30-minute consultations. We will be giving away 20 hashtag SFNY t-shirts. All holders become chat moderators for TSR Live. I will be giving away 25 books and courses from TSR Academy. And of course, the coup de grace is we are going to be giving away 3 all expense paid tickets to CME4, which will be held in Lake Tahoe this October. So go to www.redpilllions.com. That's www.redpilllions.com. Guys, sign up. Sign up because you never know. You might get that CME ticket. You might get one of the 25 books and courses. You might get one of the hashtag SFNY t-shirts, but you will not have the opportunity to get any of this stuff if you are not a holder of the Red Pill Lions Turbo NFT. It is great to have you guys in here today. Had a fantastic weekend. So I know I told you guys that I was going to be live streaming, and I look a little dark. I guess I don't have the light turned up as much. But I know I told you guys that I was going to be live streaming on Saturday and Sunday. Fortunately and unfortunately, I had a couple of consultations. Oh, hang on a second. Hang on, guys. I gotta go brighten up the lights. Hold up. There we go. Now you can see me. But unfortunately, I was overbooked on consultations this weekend. Boy, that's actually too bright now. There we go. There we are. That looks like you're right. Anyway, I was overbooked on consultations, which is fine. The scheduling software does get a little bit wonky at times, but there were a couple of consultations in particular that really required a lot more of my time and attention. And so the first, oh boy, why is this, sorry guys, I don't know what's going on with the lighting. As you guys can see, I do the show in my underwear. Anyway, that's a little better. Anyway, so one of the first consultations I had of the day, very interesting situation. Very, very interesting situation. It was actually a gentleman who'd been married for, I think, close to 6 years. Close to 6 years. They have a 6-year-old. They have a 6-year-old son, and come to find out, so they're separated. He has a 6-year-old son. Come to find out, she had been texting a guy she works with, or she had worked with, for years. Flirty texts, happy birthday texts, what are you doing texts. Now, there was no infidelity that we know of, but because of that, pardon me, he decided to, look, we need to get a divorce, we're separated. Here's where he pulled the power move, guys. He went to Saudi. They both now live in Saudi Arabia. They used to live in Texas. They met in Saudi Arabia, moved to Texas, to the United States, where they both had very, very good jobs. He's a high earner. I don't know how much she earned, but he's a very, 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 very high earner. Extremely high earner. Well, they moved back to Saudi Arabia, where he found out that she'd been texting this guy. And so he separated it. Guys, when I tell you that the laws in Saudi Arabia are red pill to the core, that is probably an understatement. In Saudi Arabia, if you make a false accusation, you risk 6 months to a year in prison. So if a woman calls the cops and says, hey, my husband is beating me, they get to the house and it's obvious that there's not a domestic incident, woman goes to jail. Here's how divorces work. Number one, it's automatic 50-50 custody no matter what. Number two, if there is any child support or alimony, it only lasts for 3 months. And then the woman is on her own. Number three, they have two kinds of divorces in Saudi Arabia, and this is where the rubber meets the road. The first kind of divorce is, okay, we're going to get divorced, but we're going to leave it open in case we decide to give it the old college try, right? Then there's the final divorce. Like, that's it. Game over. Drive home safely. Seacrest out. Thanks for flying American, right? And so he confronts me with this situation. Like, hey, my wife had been texting with this guy. There was no affair that I knew of, but clearly this was not something that I was okay with. So they're separated. He now lives by himself. He's got a place of his own. And I think she lives with her family along with their son. They've got the 50-50 custody agreement. Interestingly enough, and I want you guys to understand this. Because what we're seeing on the dating show breakdown, Lovers and Liars, is that no matter how big a statistical advantage the guys have on the island, the women still act like they're the ones with the abundance, even though it's clearly the opposite. Not only did this woman she didn't think there was anything wrong with texting back and forth. She actually thinks that it's his fault that they're separated. Now, listen, to be fair, they both did some things. They both did some things in the marriage that weren't so marriage-like. I get it. I understand. But he's the man, and, well, she's the woman. And at the end of the day, especially in Saudi Arabia, she needs him a lot more than he needs her. She doesn't get it. She does not get it. Let me tell you about the house this man has. And his soon-to-be ex-wife knows he lives in this house. Just stay with me here. The kind of house this dude lives in, and it's not really the house. Not only is the house spectacular, the area of the house is incredible. Probably one of the safest places in the world to live. Gorgeous house. Number one, to get in, obviously, they run your credit. Then they run a criminal background check on you. Those are the first two things. Then you need a letter of recommendation from at least 3 residents of that community. And even then, there are no guarantees. He got in. He got into this place. He's a high earner, lives in an exclusive place. It's like a city within a city. They've got everything they need. Obviously, they can go outside of their area and enjoy whatever city they live in Saudi Arabia. But of course, they've got the gym, the restaurants, and all that. It's almost like a Shangri-La in a bubble. It is so safe. It is so safe. When they were trying to work it out, why is my lighting going on? And I don't know what's going on here. Something's happening. Anyway, it is so safe where he lives. His soon-to-be ex-wife wanted to take his son to there was some fast food restaurant. Right? And it was probably about a mile walk. 10:30 at night, Saudi Arabia. She's like, yeah, I'm going to take Junior to get some pizza. He said, okay. They walked all the way there and all the way back. That's how safe this place is. And this woman still will not relent. Not only this, okay, this guy wanted to make this work so bad. He booked consultations for himself and his wife. And Devin and I were both involved. We couldn't talk her in. We explained everything to her, why this and why that. There was always a reason. There was always a reason as to why she couldn't or wouldn't do what he asked. So this past week, and the guy doesn't mind me talking about this. His name is Peter, goes by Pete. So Pete asks his, God, I've already forgotten what. So Pete asks Dana, pardon me. So Pete asks Dana, he tells her, look, I don't want you, and again, they're separated. They're trying to work it out. So he says to her, he's like, hey, I want you to get rid of all of your leggings, right? We know why he asked her to get rid of all the leggings, because they live in Saudi Arabia. She can't be walking around advertising herself. She gave him shit about that. Everything this man asks this woman to do, it's like pulling teeth. It's ridiculous. Then he said he wanted her to wear a baya, and I think it's very similar to a hijab. Well, she does wear a hijab / baya, but she likes to wear it in bright colors. She liked the pink and the purple and all this other kind of stuff. And he's like, no, I only want you to wear black. I only want you to wear black. Yeah, guys, I'm using, guys, listen, I'm using pseudonyms. Okay, I'm using fake names. His name is not really Pete. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry, let me clarify. His name is not Pete, gentlemen, okay? These are pseudonymous names, okay? So Pete asks Dana, he says, look, I want you to wear a black hijab at all times. And she's like, I just don't see why I have to wear black. It gets hot and it's 120 degrees and blah, 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 blah. And I asked her, I said, well, did you wear a black baya before? And she says, well, yeah. I said, so what's the difference now? I just feel like it's controlling and blah, 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 blah. And Devin's in the chat. She'll tell you. She will tell you. Guys, this woman, I'm going to tell you what, man. I have never talked to a woman who is at such a disadvantage in every way. She's at a disadvantage in every way. And she still will not relent. So you know what? In the end, I told her, Dana, you know what, sweetheart? We've talked to you for 3 out of the last 4 weeks. We're talking to your husband. It's clear you guys want to work it out. I told her, I said, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. It's just not going to work. No matter what. And you know, it's interesting. It always goes the same. We have a consultation with her. She goes and apologizes to Pete for whatever she did. Things are good for a few days, and then she goes right back into bitch mode. Here's a story about what happened. This is unbelievable. So they meet up for coffee, right? Pete brings the son because the son was with him at the time, right? So Pete brings the son. So Pete goes up, he pays for his coffee, and then Dana goes and pays for her coffee. Dana didn't like that. Dana said to Pete, she's like, well, wait, hold on. Why do you always make me pay for my coffee separately, right? Why do I always pay for my coffee separately? Mind you, this is in public. Gentlemen. A big raucous fight ensues. She's yelling at him, pointing the finger at him. He says, grab your shit, we're leaving. She says, I don't need you, I have a driver. In his face, pointing the finger in his face, in public, in Saudi Arabia. Pointing at him. So Pete, of course, feeling some type of way, he's like, you are not going to point at me. Do you want to know what happens next? Two of the patrons there look at her and they say, is everything okay? Are you all right? So of course she says, yeah, I'm okay. The argument continues. Dana tells Pete, if you don't leave, I'm going to call the cops. Pete threw up his hands and left. And that was the very moment. And again, I took both. They both told me the same story. Of course, Dana, I had to pry it out of her. I said, did you yell at him? Yes or no? Well, yeah, I did raise my voice a time or two. Okay. Did you point at him? Yes or no? Yeah, I may have pointed at him. Did you tell him, I don't need you, I have a car? She flat out denied that. I don't fucking believe her. Sorry. Then I asked her, did you threaten to call the cops on him in public? She's like, well, yeah. I said, why? She's like, because I just wanted him to stop. I said, stop what? I wanted him to stop acting crazy. I said, Dana, you are the one acting crazy. You are the one that got in your feelings about him not paying for your coffee. She says, but Donovan, I was never going to call the cops. I said, that's not the point, Dana. You threatened to call the cops on your on your soon-to-be ex-husband in a public place. So much so that other people are now getting involved in taking your side, thinking that your husband's the problem. Or soon-to-be ex-husband is the problem. That was it. Look. You're not going to point at your husband. You don't get to point at your husband, yell at him, berate him, threaten to call the cops on him, and keep the relationship. Nope. Sorry. Nope. Sorry. So I told her, I said, look, and I didn't blame anybody. I didn't say it was his fault, didn't say it was her fault. I said, Dana, sweet cheeks, this relationship ain't for y'all. You guys are not going to work. And that's all there was. I said, look, I said, honestly, I said, the reason why you guys are not going to work is because you're prioritizing the wrong things. Then I asked her a couple of other questions. I said, let me ask you something, Dana. Have you ever called your boss controlling? She says, well, no. I said, okay, all right. And how do you dress when you go to work? She was so oblivious. She had no idea where I was going with this. I said, how do you dress when you go to work? Well, when we went to work, we have a strict dress code. I said, exactly. And if your boss told you that you were dressed inappropriately and that you needed to go home and change, what would you do? She's like, well, I would go home and change. I said, okay, so you mean to tell me that you're going to submit to someone who doesn't care about you as much as your husband? You're going to submit to somebody. You're going to do what they say. You're going to show up. Your boss tells you when to show up, when to leave, when to piss, when to take a lunch break, what days you can work, what days you can have off, but you can't wear a black hijab for your husband. You can't wear, you know what I'm saying? You can't throw away your leggings for the man that has given you your first child. Of course, there was dead silence. And then, of course, she says, but, I said, Dana, that's it. I'm sorry. I said, I'm sorry. I said, look, and and she started to tear up. And I said, look, Dana, I don't derive pleasure in doing this. I really don't derive any pleasure from doing this. I think this is the problem right here. There we go. That's why the lighting is getting weird, is because of that. I said, I take no pleasure in telling you this. I said, but baby, you don't have it in you. You just don't have it in you. And of course, she has all the factors. She's got a couple of sisters that are divorced, talk shit about men. They're all in her ear all the time. She's just way too far gone. And you want to know something, guys? This is a beautiful woman. This is a beautiful Middle Eastern woman. And I mean, she is beautiful. Here's the problem. No. King Life says her tears are not genuine. They were genuine then. You want to know why? You want to know why I know her tears were not genuine? Because I said the reason why this is not going to work, Dana, is because you no longer respect, nor do you trust your husband. That's when she started to well up. That's when she realized, uh-oh, this thing might be over.
Haram!
Yeah, exactly, Andrew. And so that's what I told her. And so I had a consultation with Pete. Right after that, I told her, Pete, look, man, we tried. There's just no getting through to her. So, of course, the next day, she's blown up his phone. We need to talk. That relationship, honestly, that relationship was over before they even got to Saudi Arabia. Yeah, Devin says it. Yeah, it's sad. It is fucking sad, man. It is sad. Because I think there's like a 5-year difference between them. I think she's 31 and he's 36. You're a 31-year-old single mother living in Saudi Arabia. You're a single mother living in Saudi Arabia. Oliver Ware says, but how? He has money. He has money, guys. He has money. He has money. As Devin says, as Ali would say, she's a quarrelsome woman. That's the bottom line. Guys, she's just a quarrelsome woman. She argues and bitches and moans about everything, big or small. I said, Pete, you can't live like this, homie. I said, you just want a wife you just want a wife who will know when to shut the fuck up and not complain about every goddamn thing. So, of course, she's calling him up, blowing him up, and, he's letting the phone calls go and this and that and the other. Finally, he actually gives in and picks up the phone. What ensues? Another argument. She's telling him, you have to earn back my trust to get my compliance. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. And it's a goddamn shame. It's a goddamn shame. Luckily for Pete and his son, they have split custody. Like literally right down the middle. It's like 1 week with mom and 1 week with dad, no matter what. So hopefully he'll it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, Frank B says he has money, but he has to have game too. Exactly. And I told him, I said, Pete, the reason why you're struggling in this relationship is because you failed to place and enforce boundaries. And this is the result. This is the result. I mean, man, dude, listen. And you guys know that women will listen to women before men all the time. And you guys know how good Devin is on the mic. She laid everything out to her. And she was good. She'd give the lip service and, yeah, I'm going to do this and, yeah, I'm going to do that. But when the rubber met the road, she can't control her emotions. She can't control her emotions. She's quarrelsome. She wants to bitch about everything. And I asked her, I said, honestly, Dana, do you really want to die on the, honestly, I said, is it worth keeping your yoga pants and not wearing a black hijab? Are you really going to die on this hill? She's like, no, I don't want to, but I just feel like it's controlling. That's when I asked her, I said, Dana, have you ever called your boss controlling and just let her right down that path? Unbelievable. It was shockingly frustrating. It was shockingly frustrating. It was crazy. The second situation is much more complicated. I'm not going to spend that much time on this, guys. 24-year-old guy, 24-year-old wife. They met in middle school. They were high school sweethearts. They dated all through high school, dated all through college. Got out of college. They both got jobs, both got married. She gets pregnant within a year. The kid's not his. The kid's not his, man. High school sweetheart. The only woman he had ever been with. The only woman he'd ever been with. They got married, and they were both virgins when they hooked up the first time, but I had to tell him, I said, yo, dude, I said, you got to understand, she may have been your first, but you were not her first. So this kid married his high school sweetheart. I mean, he is in love with this girl, and she betrayed him in the worst way. First marriage, first pregnancy, paternity fraud. Fucking paternity fraud, man. Like that is just. So, men are out here. Things are getting bad, y'all. Things are getting bad, and it's funny. When Dana was on the phone, she's like, she said just a few years ago, if you wore a colored hijab or a colored baya, they would throw you in jail. But now times are changing, and I'm like, oh boy, yep. There you go. So that's what I've been dealing with. I've been texting with this kid. I've been texting with this kid probably for the last 36 hours, man. He hasn't, there's no suicidal or homicidal ideation. I've made sure of that. But it just, it is a heartbreaking situation. Yeah, Devin's, oh yeah, this is funny. Yeah, Devin was there too. Yeah, she said she wanted to wear her yoga pants under her baya. She says, but no one will see it, is what she said. So why die on that hill? Like, seriously, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Unbelievable. Brought her from Saudi Arabia to America. 6 years, gentlemen. That's all it took. Completely destroyed his relationship. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Okay, guys, have a fantastic, fantastic show in store for you guys today. We're going to talk about a couple of topics. We're going to continue with the Lauren Chen dismantling by friend of the show, the lovely and talented Pearl Davis. But first, I want to talk about this. So another TikTok video is making its rounds. This is another, can someone explain to me why I'm single? I'm pissed off. Men ain't shit. Blah, 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 blah. Here we go.
Quick question. Are you fucking kidding me?
Nope.
Like, I am so sick and tired of just everything.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Right now. Everyone is so quick to say, stop doing this, stop thinking like this, stop telling me I'm wrong. I have literally convinced myself at this point, based on everything that everyone's telling me, my therapist, my family, my friends, that I'm just doing everything wrong.
So if everyone, your therapist, family, and friends, if they're all telling her, if they're all telling you they're doing something wrong, maybe there's something to that. Do you see how, guys, do you see how hard-headed women are? Everyone in her life is telling her, you're doing it all wrong. She thinks she's doing nothing wrong.
I'm healing wrong. I'm thinking wrong. I'm training wrong. I'm doing relationships wrong. Everything I do is fucking wrong. And I'm so sick of it. Stop comparing. It's not even about comparison. Like, I genuinely just want love in my life so badly. It's literally not about anyone else. It's just about me and what I want.
And there's the problem right there. It's literally about me and what I want. Is there any wonder why you're single? Like, why? So if it's literally about you and what you want, what's the problem? Like, if it's about you and what you want, that's why you're single, boo.
And being fucking over the fact that I don't have it. I feel like I have done so much work on myself. I have built a beautiful life for myself.
Yeah, that's the problem. You built a beautiful life for yourself. See, women who build a life for themselves, they don't think of themselves as an extension of their man. They think of men as an extension of them. And a man with a modicum of value, a modicum of self-respect, is not trying to be the extension of a woman. Sorry. Listen, I'm proud of you for building a great life, but dude, you're going to have to concede at some point.
I'm happy with my life where I'm at, my job. I'm successful. I'm independent.
Successful and independent. Here we go.
I'm healthier than I've ever been.
Mm-hmm. But
I take such good care of myself. Truly, the only thing I'm missing in my life is someone to enjoy it with.
There it is. That's it. That's it, guys. This woman has it all. She has it all. She just told you. She's attractive, she's healthy, she looks good, she feels good, good job, good life, good everything. But she's fucking miserable. She's fucking miserable because she doesn't have a man. And this girl is still young, too. This girl is still young. Girls, listen, we tell girls all the time, I want to do this and that and blah, 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 blah. I don't need a man and I'm independent. Well, clearly you're not, because you're doing TikTok videos bitching about why you don't have a man.
And I'm so sick of waiting. Like, when is it going to be my turn? What more do I have to do to fix myself before I'm just allowed to be happy? Before I'm allowed to meet this universe soulmate person that God supposedly has for me? How much harder do I have to pray and manifest and wait?
Well, you don't have to do any of those things, sweet cheeks. You don't have to do any of those things. Number one, you got to drop the attitude, right? Number two, drop this independent moniker. No man of value wants a woman who is independent and don't need no man. I can think of those two things right off the top. Number three, you need to let go of this feminist indoctrination, sweetheart. That's the problem. I'm strong, I'm independent. Those are high value man deterrents. She doesn't realize this yet. That's why everyone around her is telling her she's doing it wrong. Because she's attractive, she's got it all, good job, but still single.
I feel like I'm being punished for something I didn't do.
No, you're being punished for something you did. You're being punished for fucking around. Guys, this is what happens to these women. And it's funny. Have you guys noticed? This is really sad, but it's also very, very, very interesting. Consider this. Normally, these kinds of videos are done by women in their 30s and 40s. Why don't I have what I want? Where have all the good men gone? But guys, the women doing these videos, they're starting to get younger and younger. They're starting to get younger and younger. How old is this girl? What is she, 25, 26? Aren't we used to like women over 40 and in their 50s doing videos like this? We have an attractive woman in her 20s telling us how sick she is of waiting.
And I'm just so tired. I'm so tired. I don't expect a lot.
Stop the cap.
Every woman who says, I don't expect a lot, always expect a lot. She's just telling us that so that people don't tell her your expectations are too high. But that's exactly what this is.
I just want love in my life so bad. I want my life partner. Am I just supposed to be alone? Like, is that the message?
No, you're not supposed to be alone, but the world doesn't owe you an explanation. Guys, listen, man, these girls know. We've been telling these girls this shit. For oh boy, here we go. Oh boy. All right, we got somebody new. We have somebody new that we have to break in. Jerry RN says, attractive? That's debatable. You're new here, Jerry. So let me let you in on a little secret. We don't pretend that attractive women are unattractive because we don't like them. Okay? What you just did, Jerry, was tell this girl she has a small dick if she was a guy. Well, you just have a small dick. Or you're not that interesting anyway. Okay? Jerry, look at the screen, sweet cheeks. Look at the screen, buddy. She's an attractive woman. Admitting that a bitchy, quarrelsome woman is attractive, it's not a crime. It is what it is. She looks good. She's attractive. Yes, she has an attitude problem. Yes, she's probably a loser. And yes, she's probably hell to put up with. That does not negate the fact that she's attractive. So, again, this is what I try to teach my guys when I'm in here, Jerry, is that let's not be like the women. Okay? Let's not be like the women. Let's compartmentalize the facts from the feelings. Okay? Yes, she is insufferable. We can tell. We've only been listening to her for what? 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Yes, she's insufferable. Yes, she's entitled. Yes, she's probably a bitch. None of that negates the fact that she is attractive. So let's not come in here with the good looking act debatable. Come on. Jerry, you're a registered nurse, man. You should know better.
That this beautiful life I've built for myself, like it's just supposed to be me in it alone. Like I know I have my dog and I love him so much, but like...
Oh my God. Buy a dog and die alone. Oh boy. Oof. Hi.
I need...
Oh boy.
Love.
No, bitch. You need a man. You need a fucking man. And that's why your ass is crying on fucking TikTok.
All of my friends have their fiancés and their
Yep.
boyfriends and
Sure
their
do.
husbands
Uh-huh.
that they prioritize. Like, as far as I'm concerned,
Oh, let's rewind that.
fiancés and their boyfriends and their husbands that they prioritize.
That they prioritize. Did it ever occur to this woman that the reason she's single is because the men she's had in her life she didn't prioritize? You built this beautiful life for yourself, right? So that's what you prioritized. You prioritized your career, you prioritized your money, you prioritized your dog. And now you're an attractive woman who is single. Why? And now you're what? When is it my turn? All my friends have boyfriends and husbands and fiancés that they prioritize. That's exactly it. Dr. B84 with the $10 super chat says, a man's career success always transcends himself, but a woman's career success does not. Wow. Dre Raven with the $5 super
Like,
chat.
as far as I'm concerned,
Dre Raven with the $5 super chat says, if you're looking for happiness in someone else, you'll be looking for a long time. That is actually true for men, not so much for women. Not so much for women. MS772 says comparisons. She said she wasn't comparing. Yeah, surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. She already has contradicted herself. Right.
I've been left behind.
Oh boy. Jerry RN says her attitude makes her unattractive in my opinion. Jerry, I understand what you are saying, but let's not pretend that you wouldn't fuck this girl if she threw herself at you. Guys, listen, being a man is about being honest, okay? You look really, like, seriously, you look fucking dumb. Honestly, Jerry, you look about as dumb as these bimbos on Fresh and Fit who tell Myron he's not high value. Well, you're not high value, you're balding. You're not high value, you got a big nose. Yes, her attitude makes her unattractive for a relationship, but she is physically, sexually attractive. Come on, Jerry. There's always one.
And I really just want to find that person that matches my energy.
Oh boy.
And wants to build a life with me.
Baby, you've already built your life. You've already built your life, sweet cheeks. That's the problem.
Is that so hard?
No, it's not, actually. It's not actually. It's not actually. It's not hard. All you have to be is fit, feminine, friendly, and faithful. She's fit, she's friendly, but she's she's fit. Damn, she's 1 for 4. No, she's fit, feminine, friendly. Oh, no. She's fit, not feminine, not friendly, not faithful. Ay. Some guy says, Don, she is attractive, but look at those eyes. Yeah, whatever. She's got, every girl has crazy eyes. Gus says she starts with saying everyone tells her she's doing things wrong. She doesn't agree. Then goes to say everyone on her friends prayer. Yeah, right. Exactly. That was a little. Okay, it was hard. Ay. Another one, dude. Another one of these hoes, man. What, dude? Again, what was shocking for me? Jerry says, RN says 1 for 4 is an L. Very true, but Jerry, you are going to admit that she is physically attractive. You are going to admit that. That is what you think. None of us in here like that bitch, but every one of us in here would smash her. We absolutely would. Philip Smith with the $5 super chat says she's ostracized herself from the man she wants. Yes, she has. Yes, she absolutely has. Guys, I wanted to talk about something that is a little bit unexpected. I wanted to talk about the rapper Plies. And I don't know if you guys know who Plies is. It doesn't really matter. Plies is a rapper. He's a rapper, mainstream rapper. Associated Acts. Who does he rap with? I don't know. They usually throw the Associated Acts. But here's something that I wanted to point out. Okay, so altercation at a concert. Altercation at a concert. It says, on April 3rd, 2015, a viral video of Plies getting attacked on stage during a concert in Tallahassee, Florida was released. The attacker would later address the situation, stating, "I fuck with you, bruh. That nigga is one of my top 5 artists. That nigga started talking that bullshit, so I dropped his ass like any real nigga would. Do like, bitch, fuck you, bruh." The reason I pointed that out is for 2 reasons. 2 reasons. Number 1, man, I can't tell you how many times I get, and it's always niggas. It is always niggas. "I fuck with you, bro, but you wrong on this. I fuck with you, bro, but you wrong on that." No. Nigga, if you're telling me you fuck with me, but you don't fuck with me, that's number 1. Niggas always like to tell other niggas, "I fuck with you." No, you don't fuck with me. You're a hating ass nigga. That's why you're a hating ass nigga. The second thing is why do niggas ruin everything? Why do niggas attack successful people? You guys remember a few weeks ago, Cam Newton was giving that talk and he was literally attacked by people? I'm telling you, man, I am trying to tell you this. I say this all the time. This is why we can't have nice things. Niggas ruin everything. Niggas ruin everything. Even the college graduation, where the families came and let us in. They had to stop the graduation because people started getting violent. Dude, niggas never know how to act, ever. Yeah. I just wanted to say it. I just wanted to talk about that. Ridiculous. Roblox85 with the $5 super chat says, "Gents, when these TikTok dick down debriefs," wait a minute. Sorry, he says, "Gents, when we hear these TikTok dick down debriefs while driving, think about how many opportunities she's had and ruined." Absolutely. Absolutely. She says, "When is it my turn?" Sweetheart, you had your turn. But you turned down Michael because he was still in law school. You turned down Philip because he didn't have his shit together yet. Phoenix Light Games with the $20 super chat says, "This is what the black pill gets wrong. We don't get pleasure in seeing women single. I love seeing women in happy relationships, but people think that when we get constructive criticism to these women, we enjoy it. We don't." That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Again, guys, I did not derive any pleasure from telling Dana it's over. You are too hard-headed. You are too fucking strong-willed. That's it. That was hard to do. Philip Smith says she did turn me down. She did turn me down. Guys, explain to me what the tall poppy, I've heard this tall poppy syndrome thing. And in the future, if I don't read your chat the first time, please don't spam the chat with it again. Please don't do that. Somebody explain to me what the tall poppy, or is it tall puppy syndrome? I don't know what that means. Motherfucker said, "I fuck with you, bro, but then you started talking that bullshit." Yeah, translation, you a nigga. All right, let us get to the main event. Let us get to the main event.
Night.
There we go. So when we last, previously on TSR Live.
And then typically what you get is an out of context clip.
What the hell?
That they throw out there.
Thank you. The fuck? Last time on TSR Live, Pearl had absolutely cooked her to a crisp. We are going to finish that podcast today, which is why I started a little bit early, but I just, I wanted to just watch that whole sequence. You guys know what sequence I'm talking about. I just wanted to watch that whole sequence just one more time. However, got a little bit of fun for you guys. For those of you guys who don't follow me on social media, you niggas need to follow me on social media, goddammit. I actually released a couple of memes. Released a couple of memes. This is the first one. This is the first meme that I got out of this podcast. I hate when fucking OBS does this shit. Ridiculous. Savage mode activated. That's the first meme. Follow me on social media if you guys want to get on this stuff. The second meme I released, this is actually today. The second meme was, here we go. When you're, that's the second meme. That is meme number one. Yes, Siege D says, I saw that Pearl meme on Instagram. Yes. This is meme number 2 because we are about to see Ms. Chen with a fly in her hair.
And so I knew what was happening when I first saw the video.
And you can tell from her Twitter that she's obviously a crazy woman. And I personally think emotional abuse is a myth. I know you said
I agree with you on
seem
that.
to have a different perspective. Would you think emotional abuse is a valid reason to have a divorce if you support no fault divorce?
No, but something can be unacceptable behavior though, still within a marriage. Absolutely.
But who are you to tell a man how to speak to his wife in his house? Isn't that out of order?
I mean, you do that all the time. You call other men simps all the time.
You know what? It's interesting. Let me stop it right there. This is something that Lauren likes to do. Anytime anyone says something about women, it's what about the men though? Anytime somebody says something about her, it's well, you do it too. She says, who are you to tell another man how to speak to his wife in his own house? Well, you do it all the time. No, answer the question, bitch.
But I don't tell them how to talk to their wife. That's your business.
That is absolutely not true.
Okay,
there are
name it. Go ahead.
For sure. There are tons of times where there will be actual men in your comments saying disagree, and you call them simps.
When I say simps, it typically means out of order. So typically when I say that, I'm referring to a pattern of behavior where they're putting women on a pedestal. That's typically what I'm describing.
But you'll say that about
this is, but we're going to the what about. You're changing the topic.
No,
who are you?
No, it's not.
Because
it's the same topic.
my original question is, who are you to tell a man how to talk to his wife in his home?
Well, I don't.
Do you think you should be able to tell a man how to talk to his wife in his house?
I think that men should conduct themselves to biblical standards when it.
See that? The answer was not no. And then of course she goes to the highly subjective biblical standards that undercover trad feminists like to use.
But answer my question. Do you think it's your place to tell men how to talk to their wives in their home? Answer yes or no.
I think it is perfectly reasonable to say that a man should hold himself to a Christian standard in the home.
Okay, so you do think it's your place. And this is what I mean when I say a lot of conservative women aren't really conservative.
It's true.
Well, what it ends up being is woman sad, man mean. Woman sad, man bad.
Philip Smith, welcome to Chat Privileges. Philip just got rejected. Philip just got rejected, so he decided to join the family. We got you, Philip. We're here to dry your tears. We're here to dry your tears. We're here to pick you up. At Philip Smith to welcome him to the TSR family. Philip, if you would put your age and location in the chat, as is customary of the very first member that we get. I ask for a chat-wide age and location check. A lot of guys here are now friends because they hang out with each other because they saw that they are in each other's cities or neighborhoods here on the show. Let's go.
Because you're first, from a biblical point of view, you are supposed to be obedient to your husband in all things.
That's right.
So before conservative women will talk about the disobedience, their first thing is their tone.
Yes, the tone policing.
That's
super
before,
out of control.
But they never. And I could show this because there's video after video after video. Not a single conservative woman said, "Oh, hey, she didn't listen to her husband." Mm-hmm. Not one. That's crazy to me. And then we want to say, like, men go get married to conservative women. Most of them aren't really conservative.
Let's bring up the Lauren Southern story because I think this was actually a big component of Lauren's story. This article was written, I think it was on her.
Yeah, this is funny. So Lauren got absolutely cooked, and I think Tim jumped in to sort of save her. He's like, okay, Lauren's getting cooked here. Let's stop the bleeding.
It was written by a woman who got divorced, and in the story, I think one of the issues was Lauren realizing that just being this obedient, good wife to this man wasn't working. He kept threatening to divorce her, and it seemed like nothing was working. That was her. I believe
that's her side of the story.
Oh, for sure.
And so I doubt it.
There you
were just okay. Let me get this straight. Okay, so nobody asked question. You were this perfect angel. You were a perfect angel. All you did was listen to your husband.
Yeah.
And then he threatened to divorce you all the time. Do you guys hear these stories? You believe this?
Nope.
Come
sure
on.
Don't.
But that's why I mentioned biblical patriarchy. Lauren talks about how even before they were married, he would do things like leave for days on end, like not talk to her.
But again, why? Just like Pearl said, we've been through this part before. He would do things like he would just leave. Again, women love to, they love to give half the story. My husband left for 3 days. Did you tell him about the part where you called him names, called his mother a bitch, and threatened to kill him? Did you mention the part where you said you went to lunch with one of your girlfriends, but instead you went to lunch with one of your exes? Philip Smith with the $5 super chat says, I used to be a member, but I used to be a member. Switch cards. I didn't remember to update. I just noticed. My bad. Boise, Idaho 28. No big deal. Phoenix Light Games with the $10 super chat says, I discovered the antithesis of women. I discovered the antithesis. Women of value hate women that pretend to care about men's plight, when in reality they don't. They're only out for themselves. It's why Pearl had an adverse reaction with Lauren. Yes, Lauren is a disingenuous tradcon. She is a feminist.
But why did he leave? And that's what we never talk about. A lot of times when men leave, it is because there is a negative behavior that we don't talk about. Why? For example, what if she cheated? I'm not saying she did. I don't know.
Right. What Pearl is saying is that we're not just going to up and leave for 3 days for just no reason. There's a pretty damn good reason.
What if she cheated? Would that be an acceptable reason for him to leave for 3 days?
I know, but we don't know. We don't know.
Answer the question,
she gets an article.
You have a responsibility as a woman to choose someone, to choose a strong leader for yourself. So if you're going into this 4 months and you're already seeing red flags, it's not trad to say, I will marry him anyway. Like, I've not seen...
Well, we're talking about women who are married already. So now she's going backwards.
Christian dating account.
Ken Rose with the $2 Rumble Rant gives us a thumbs up. Thank you very much for that, Ken.
Say, ignore all the red flags.
Are they a Christian couple, though?
I think he is...
Is she Christian?
Like,
what are we...
Yeah. So, but my point is that I like Lauren, but she was kind of portraying as this is why my trad relationship didn't work out. I don't think it was a trad relationship.
Yeah,
like, look at that.
Yes, and neither is yours, Lauren. Neither Lauren has a trad relationship. They only like to pretend to.
No, but that's my point. Even trad women do not behave trad.
But what is
that? When I say traditional is family.
What is trad? Exactly the opposite of what you're doing, Ms. Chen.
Family first, above all. The family comes first before me.
But I think maybe there's a bias in the system because the women that we hear about are prominent political commentators. Right. They're working women.
Yes.
The traditional mothers don't.
Which is literally the opposite of trad. You cannot be a trad wife if you are a career woman. Sorry.
Go on. This is a really good point in terms of the rise of feminism as a whole. All these news articles and these columnists, these women writing about what women should or shouldn't do are not traditional mothers.
That's right.
They're working women in offices. So they have this.
Philip Smith with the $5 super chat says, Lauren's showing us that Protestants aren't just atheist factories, but also simp factories. Wow. Yeah, I would go as far as to say that the Protestant church is probably responsible for more atheists than atheists. G. Lee with the $5 super chat says, why is it that when women tell stories they enjoy, they are generally long-winded, but when it puts them in a bad light, they skip to the ending? Yeah, exactly.
Natural bias. My life is good and everything I'm doing is correct. And then the women who are like, my family matters more than anything else, and I'm not concerned about what's going on outside this house.
Siege D says, tall poppy syndrome, the desire to criticize a very successful person. Well, shit, everybody, dude. Well, that's what defines trolls. All trolls have tall poppy syndrome. Yeah, people who criticize successful people they're always losers.
matters inside this house is my thing.
And Kevin's Corner, I am officially jealous of you because you live in Phoenix and I don't.
She's not writing these articles. We're not hearing her perspective.
Well, I mean, I don't call myself traditional or conservative because I'm like, who's tradition, what tradition? That's very vague, very nebulous. And conservative, we haven't conserved anything. There's nothing that's been conserved. So I spent 20 years raising a family before I started doing this, and I kind of got into it by accident. I wrote this little book thinking maybe my dad would read it and maybe my grandkids.
Yeah, Frank B says, Don, do you think a stay-at-home mom would work nowadays? I don't think it would because of the cost of living is so expensive that both the man and the woman have to work to make ends meet. No, I disagree. I absolutely think that stay-at-home moms can work. And, oh, wait a minute. There we go. Yes, stay-at-home moms can absolutely work, gentlemen. Stay-at-home moms can absolutely work. And I'm going to tell you why. Here is exactly why stay-at-home moms would absolutely work. Yes, it is. Yes, it's definitely a little tougher to get by on one income. But guys, this is why we teach you live below your means. Live below your means. So if you're talking about the typical modern woman wanting to live this Instagram lifestyle, then yeah, you need two incomes for that. You need two incomes for that. But if you have a woman who is modest, doesn't like a bunch of expensive things, is always looking for the best deal, you can absolutely survive on in a one income household. You absolutely could live below your means and make sure you choose a woman who understands the value of a dollar for sure. Let's continue.
Kids would read it, and it just kind of blew up.
Now you're killing it.
So now here I am. But I have 5 children. I've homeschooled them. Like, I spent 20 years in my house, in my kitchen, chained to the stove. No, I'm just kidding. Doing all of that before I started making commentary on this sort of thing. And yes, I'm sorry, but if you have a whole career outside of your marriage, that complicates things.
Real shit.
Women don't want to talk about about how difficult it is.
And that's why women like Tommy Lauren and Lauren Southern are where they are now.
When you are over here trying to hustle for your career and, you have goals that are not related to your family and antithetical to your family, all of that is going to interrupt your family life and your marriage.
I want to trigger as many feminists as possible, so I'm going to get into this.
Let's go.
Get to this point. So there was a bunch of data that was released by dating websites on the societal value of men and women. And I think it was OkCupid something like 20 years ago or 15 years ago, showing that societal value tracked among the willingness of people to interact with each other. Women start their whole lives from 0 through.
Colonel Sanders, member for 50 months. Stay-at-home moms work if you train them. Don Damage, absolutely. Appreciate that.
Through all their teen years at 100% societal value. They're protected, they're offered opportunities, they have easier time getting entry-level jobs, and men start at 0. Yes. Young men are considered unskilled, non-valuable.
Okay, it sounds to me like this whole diatribe, and Tim's right, but this whole diatribe can be encapsulated with one simple phrase that we have uttered in this community for years. Men have to earn their value, women have to preserve it. That's it. Men start at 0. That's why we have to build our value. Women start at 100. That's why they have to preserve it. That's the difference.
Break rocks, kid, earn your place. And then around the mid-20s, a shift starts happening where women start to experience a decline.
Burley Sullivan says, is Tim a cuck? Guys, look, man. Look. It's just one of these. It doesn't make sense with this cuck thing. Yes, there are some people that are truly cucks. Adam22 is a cuck. But just because we don't like somebody doesn't mean they're a cuck.
In social value while men experience an...
Archie Bunker says, so Donovan thinks that he can't be criticized because he's successful? WTF. Did I say? Wait a minute. Hold on. No. So he says, so Donovan thinks that he can't be criticized because he's successful. Hold on. So now, here's what I'm going to do, Archie. Just to make sure that we're on point with this little contention here. I never ever said that people can't criticize me because I'm successful, and I'm going to prove it right now. Just watch. Just listen. So he says, so just give me a second. Stay with me, Archie. Because I'm gonna make a very good point here.
Not one. That's crazy to me. And then we want to say, like, you know, men go.
So what I'm looking for, is the point. I'm looking for the point where I talked about the successful people.
Get married to conservative women. Most of them aren't really conservative.
Let's bring up the Lauren Southern story, because I think this was actually
funny. So Lauren got absolutely cooked. Then to save her, he's like, okay, Lauren's getting cooked.
And in the story, I think one of the issues was Lauren realizing that just being this obedient, good wife to this man wasn't working. He kept threatening to divorce her, and it seemed like nothing was working. That was her. I believe
that's her side of the story.
For sure.
And so I doubt it.
But then
you were just, okay, let me get this straight. Okay. So nobody asked question. You were this perfect angel. You were a perfect angel. All you did was listen to your husband.
Yeah.
And then he threatened to divorce you all the time. Do you guys hear these stories? You believe this?
Nope.
Come
sure
on.
Don't.
But that's why I
Keep listening.
I mentioned biblical patriarchy. Lauren talks about how even before they were married, he would do things like leave for days on end, like not talk to her.
But again, why? Just like Pearl said, we've been through this part before. He would do things like he would just leave. Again, women love to, they love to give half the story. My husband left for 3 days. Did you mention the part where you said, Philip Smith with the $5 super chat says, I used to be a member, but switched cards. I didn't remember to update. I just noticed. My bad. Boise, Idaho 28. No big deal. Phoenix Light Games with the $10 super chat says, I discovered the antithesis of women. I discovered the antithesis. Women of value hate women that pretend to care about men's plight, when in reality they don't. They're only out for themselves. It's why Pearl had an adverse reaction with Lauren. Yes, Lauren is a disingenuous tradcon. She is a feminist.
Yeah, but why did he leave? And that's what we never talk about. A lot of times when men leave, it is because there is a negative behavior that we don't talk about. Why? For example, what if she cheated?
Leave for 3 days for just...
I don't know.
There's a pretty damn good reason.
What if she cheated? Would that be an acceptable reason for him to leave for 3 days?
I know, but we don't know.
Answer the question,
So if you're going into this 4 months and you're already seeing...
we're talking about women who are married already. So now she's going backwards.
Christian dating account.
Ken Rose with the $2 Rumble Rant gives us a thumbs up. Thank you very much for that, Ken.
Say, ignore all the red flags.
Was he Christian?
Like,
what are we?
Yeah. So, but my point is that I like Lauren, but she was kind of portraying as this is why my trad relationship didn't work out. I don't think it was a trad relationship.
Yeah,
look at that.
Yes, and neither is yours. Stay with us, Archie. Neither Lauren has a trad relationship. They only like to pretend to.
No, but that's my point. Even trad women do not behave trad.
But what is
that?
So
when I say traditional is family.
What is trad? Exactly the opposite of what you're doing, Ms. Chen.
Family first, above all. The family comes first before me.
But I think maybe there's a bias in the system because the women that we hear about are prominent political commentators. Right. They're working women.
Yes.
The traditional mothers don't.
Which is literally the opposite of trad. You cannot be a trad wife if you are a career woman. Sorry.
The all not traditional.
It says Lauren's showing us.
In offices, so they have this.
Philip Smith with the $5 super chat says Lauren's showing us that Protestants aren't just atheist factories, but also simp factories. Why? That the Protestant church is probably responsible for more atheists than atheists. G. Lee with the $5 super chat says, why is it that when women tell stories they enjoy, they are generally... Yeah, exactly. In a bad light, they skip to the ending. Yeah, exactly.
Natural bias. My life is good and everything I'm doing is correct. And then the women
Stay with
who
us.
are like,
Almost there. Siege D says tall poppy syndrome, the desire to criticize a very successful person. Well, shit, everybody, dude. Well, that's what defines trolls. All trolls have tall poppy syndrome. Yeah, people who criticize successful people they're always losers.
Matters.
Huh? People who criticize successful people are always losers. So Archie says, so Donovan thinks that he can't be criticized because he's successful. WTF? Where in that did you hear?
Inside this house is my thing.
Hold on. Successful people they're always losers. Listen again. People who criticize have tall poppy syndrome. That's what defines them. Let's go again. Here we go. Just listen. Well, shit, everybody, dude. Well, that's what defines trolls. All trolls have tall poppy syndrome. Yeah, people who criticize successful people they're always losers.
Matters in time.
People who criticize successful people are always losers. That's exactly what I said. I did not say, Archie, that I think that I can't be criticized because I'm successful. That never came out of my mouth. Number one. Number two, it's ridiculous for successful people to think they're above criticism. Then he says, anyone can be criticized. Yeah, did you figure that out all by yourself, Archie? He says, and just because someone may support you doesn't mean they can't disagree from time to time. Okay, so now we're switching words. Are we talking about Are we talking about people criticizing you or disagreeing with you? So Archie Bunker is a low-key hater. I can guarantee you he's black. And then he said echo chamber. There it is, echo chamber. Archie, what you just said made absolutely no fucking sense, you ignorant fucking nigga. You are another ignorant black man, literally just taken everything out of context. I did not say I said that people who criticize successful people are losers, and what you got from that is I can't be criticized because I'm successful. Then of course you stating the obvious, anybody can be criticized. Yes, anybody can be criticized. We know that. And just because someone may support you doesn't mean they can't disagree with you. Yes, disagreeing with someone and being critical of them are two very different things, Archie. See, this is, and again, I'll bet you, and I guarantee you, Archie, you're the type of nigga that's gonna say, I fuck with you, bruh, but you out of line for this. Tell me I'm wrong, Archie. Tell me I'm wrong. I fuck with you, Donovan, but blah, blah. You don't fuck with me, Archie. You don't like me, and that's okay. Just say that. You don't have to come in here with these weak-ass arguments. I never said I couldn't be criticized. I get criticized all the time. And this is not dude, I have disagreements with people all the time, but disagreement and criticism are two very different things, Archie. Go to school, nigga. Read.
Inside this house is my...
All right, here we go.
Incline. Yep. Men are becoming more skilled and more valuable as they become stronger and more capable, and not even all men, only a small percentage of them. Whereas as women age, society values them less and less for the obvious reason of the intrinsic value society had was the ability to have kids. Mm-hmm. This results in, if your whole life everyone around you is saying you are the best, and then one day you start hearing everyone say you're not so great and men are better, you start to feel like something's being taken away from you.
Ooh, wow. And that, guys, what Tim just said right there, that is precisely why a lot of these girls on Fresh and Fit have such an adverse reaction to being told they're not special. Women in this country, they're told they're special and they're the best and they're awesome. And then for the first time in their lives, the kind of man that they are after, whether they would admit it or not, tells them you're not special. Just like Tim says, to them, it feels like something is being taken away. That's why they do their best to get it back. Kevin Kelly, welcome to Chat Privileges. At Kevin Kelly to welcome him to the TSR family. Kevin, if you would, put your age and location in the chat. Let's go.
And so...
Oh, wait a minute. I don't really care what the $1 Rumble rant says. Anyone can criticize successful people, and unless you're on their level or better than them, then your opinion doesn't matter. That's exactly right. He's exactly right. Anybody can be critical of anybody. That's for sure. But, for example, if you're a guy like Archie Bunker, who's literally a hood, like an ain't shit hood nigga like Pookie and Ray Ray type shit, okay, you can have your criticisms of me, but you ain't shit. That's why your opinion doesn't matter. Guys, have you ever wondered why? And I really want to take a time to make this point. Have you ever wondered why Fresh and Fit is, other than the obvious, why Fresh and Fit is still around, why Pearl is still around, why all the top guys are still around, why Andrew Tate is still around? Because the people that are below them, that are critical of them, they don't move the needle. They're fucking losers. The only people whose opinions matter for real are people who are at or above your level. There are Archie Bunkers running around in my chat and my comment section all the time. And it's funny, you hear them say all the time, Fresh and Fit is done. They're still here. Pearl can just hang them up. Her YouTube career is over. She's still around. Why? Because the people saying these things don't fucking matter. They're low value, low IQ people just looking to hate on somebody that's more successful than them. Like this guy, Archie Bunker. Archie Bunker said that this is an echo chamber, not realizing that that had absolutely nothing to do with what he said. Then, of course, he wants to conflate being critical with disagreeing. Listen, we can disagree, and we can even be critical of one another. But Archie, being critical and having disagreements are two different things. That's the way it goes. Let's go.
One of the hypotheses I have is that for the average guy who grows up in the gutter, is more likely to be homeless, more likely to be a victim of crime, less likely to get entry-level jobs, much harder at a younger age to get a job than women in their teenage years.
Yes, very, very true.
These guys are like, man, it's rough. Now they're 26 and they're like, life is finally getting good.
Yeah, again, this is Tim telling us that women are born, like men, we have to build our value, women simply have to preserve it. That's just the way it works. Scott Argon with the $5 super chat says, you said Pete was the failure for not enforcing boundaries, but dealing with Western women after they get the ring, they use the law in their favor. Yeah, look, Scott, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. To a degree. If you set and enforce boundaries early on, you drastically reduce the odds of getting fucked over. But here's the thing. This guy got lucky. He didn't set boundaries early. But guess what, Scott? You weren't here earlier. They met in Saudi Arabia. They met in Saudi Arabia. They were both raised in that Middle Eastern culture, very highly traditional. Very highly traditional, very patriarchal. His mistake was moving her. He made two mistakes. Number one, he didn't set boundaries early. Number two, he moved to America. So look, man, look. If your woman is out of pocket, it is your fault. It is your fault, Scott. Guys, I'm not the guy that's going to blame everything on women. Because what you have to understand, Scott, is that women are going to do what you allow them to do. So you are absolutely right. He absolutely failed in this relationship because he did not set boundaries. Scott Argon says, $5 super chat says, doesn't matter how much game the man has or how much he enforces boundaries, the woman knows the law and uses it to her advantage. Yeah, Scott Argon is a black pillar. Guys, Scott Argon is a black pillar. You're a black pillar. Look, you're absolutely right. The woman does know the law and she can use it to her advantage. But if you do have game, if you do have your shit together, if you are masculine, if you do set and enforce boundaries, that drastically reduces the odds of you getting fucked over by an unscrupulous woman. So let's not get black pill and just blame everything on women, Scott. I appreciate the support, but bruh, we got to take some accountability here, fam. We got to take some accountability here because black pillars are basically just male feminists. They take no accountability. It's all the woman's fault. Scott, it's time to take some accountability. Yes, she fucked up and blah, 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 blah. But guess what? Pete's got to take some accountability too here. Guys, I'm trying to tell you, it's not always all the woman's fault, y'all. It's not always all the woman's fault. What you need to do, Scott, is you need to go back and listen to this on Rumble. No, I didn't hit rewind. I didn't hit rewind. Archie says, made my point earlier. Donovan claimed someone didn't fuck with him just because the guy disagreed with something. People don't even have to agree with everything. Their own friends. I don't know what that means. So criticism. Hang on a second. Yes, guys, I went back and I played it again to prove Archie wrong. Don't sweat it. Archie says, so criticism equals troll. Fantastic. Did I say that criticizing someone makes you a troll? No, I said that people who criticize other successful people all the time are trolls. Low-key hater. Archie says people can fuck with people and have disagreements. Okay, Archie, you're out of here. You're out of here, buddy. I'm sorry. You're getting too much. You're getting too much attention. Archie. You're a troll, buddy. You're a troll. You're absolutely a troll. See, this is what trolls like to do. They like to come in and fuck with you, and then as soon as you call them a troll, okay, so basically because I did this, I'm a troll. Yes, you are, Archie. Now you can fuck off and go fuck your mother. Now, how about that? Mac with the $10 super chat says, for Archie, Dr. B84 with a $5 super chat says, this is where Tim had an RP moment, but he's inherently blue pilled. Yeah, you know, you can't blame that on him. You can't blame that on him. You really, really can't. Mac with the $10 super chat says, those were the days, ass nigga. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I don't look. PVD 25 says, I don't understand why haters come here, and there's literally infinite stuff to watch on the internet. It's because they're losers, PVD. They come to the internet to criticize people, and it's funny because they do it under the guise of, I'm just here disagreeing. There was nothing to disagree with. There was nothing to disagree with. I just said that I just said that people who do nothing but criticize successful people are losers, like you are, Archie, and now you're banned from the chat. So go home and fuck your mom. Phoenix Light Games with the $10 super chat says, you know what's funny? These haters say F and Fresh and Fit and Pearl are done, and they don't realize that hit pieces and posts that they make about them actually make them more money. Congratulations, you're helping them. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, Archie, you're a loser, buddy. You are a loser. You're not. I know you're a loser because losers don't do what you do.
They're tolerant of the crap.
Yep.
They're used to things being cruddy. And so now they're kind of comfortable. They start hearing women say, man, it's not fair. I'm having these things taken away from me. And the guy thinks, this is the least concerning thing I have ever had to deal with in my
Archie, why are you in the chat? Like, why are you in the chat? Like, seriously, why are you in the chat, Archie? Kevin Takeda says, I agree. I hate Saucecast. You never see me there anymore or bother watching their content. Exactly. Exactly. Like, I don't like Adam anymore. I don't watch his stuff. It just doesn't make any sense. Scott Aragon, $5 super chat says, not a black pill at all. I'm all in for men being accountable and never said it was only the woman's fault. Just commenting, love you, brother. No, you never said it was all the woman's fault. Hold on, let's go back. Look, I love you, but we got to set the record straight. Okay, set the record. I never said that you said that it was all the woman's fault. I said that we have to stop placing all the blame on women. You said, and I quote, you said Pete was the failure for not enforcing boundaries, but dealing with Western women after they get the ring, they use the law in their favor. Doesn't matter how much game the man has or how much he enforces boundaries. The woman knows the law and uses it to her advantage. Scott, I don't know that you realize this, but that's a black pill mind. That's a black pill way of thinking. That's a black pill way of thinking. Doesn't matter how much game he has. Of course it matters how much game he has. The more game you have, the less likely a woman is to fuck with you using the law. Come on, guys. Come on now. Listen, I don't think you're black pill, but you better be careful. You better be careful. Love you too, brother. Let's go. Oops.
But that then confers to the men saying, sure, fine, whatever, I don't care. I don't care if you're gonna do X, Y, or Z, or the law says this. I've literally eaten out of a dumpster before. Right. This is not my problem. Mm-hmm. Right. And so women
Archie's still in the chat. Archie's still in the chat.
Experiencing decline.
At Archie Bunker, tell this nigga, look, tell this nigga, tell Archie what you guys really feel about him. Tell him. Get his ass out of here. I don't want Archie watching my show. So everybody troll Archie. Fuck him.
Creates a pressure on our legal system and our society to continually shift everything back into benefiting women.
Yes. Sword of Revelation says, Pearl is disgusting. As a guy, she wouldn't get the time of day for me, nor would I take her advice on anything. You know what, Sword? You're absolutely right. Because men should never take advice from women. And if you think Pearl is disgusting, that's your opinion. You're allowed to have a type. Let's go.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of women in their 20s and especially into their 30s, they experience this, and there are so many TikTok videos of like women in their 30s in their car crying about how they're no longer desirable because a lot of, women's worth is the dating marketplace.
And it's funny, it's not 30s and 40s anymore, it's in their 20s.
It's a sexual marketplace. So when these women aren't married and they don't have kids, they are faced with the reality that, yes, they do have less societal value. And it's terrifying for them because it's only going to get worse. But that is why, as a woman, motherhood is amazing. Like, I'm going to be turning 30, and I have a lot of friends who are...
Archie is still in here. Archie is still in here.
Single, 30,
because I can see him. I can see him.
They're freaking out. Their prospects...
And again, you need to @Archie. @Archie to tell about himself.
Prospects look very different from mine. Like, I'm married. I have a family. Like,
always some dumb niggas.
I'm actually of the opinion, like, now...
No. Sword of Revelation about... No, he's not about to catch a stray. Look, he's not about to catch a stray. I don't disagree with anything. I don't disagree. I don't disagree with anything he said. Right? He says, look, he says Pearl is disgusting. Hold on. He says Pearl is disgusting. As a guy, she wouldn't get the time of day from me. Okay. If you think Pearl is disgusting, why would that make me mad? I mean, why would another man's opinion on another woman, why would that upset me? Number one. Number two, he says, nor would I take her advice on anything. As you shouldn't, because men should never take advice from women. I've never taken advice from Pearl. Ever.
Now my life is really just beginning. Like now I'm...
Siege D says, you have to ban him. He probably blocked all of us. We can't see him. Yeah, but he can't say shit. He can't say shit. And the longer he's in here, the more this goes up in the algorithm. You guys see what I'm doing? I'm encouraging him to stay here to help the show while simultaneously trying to get him out of here. And he thinks he's winning. He's back behind his keyboard typing a bunch of shit. And then he thinks he's going to get me on the comments. I've already let Heather Paulson know to look out for your dumbass in the comments section, Archie. Don DeMarco Donovan. I'm going to tell you what, man. Look, man, I got years and years dealing with niggas like you, bruh. I got years dealing with niggas like you. It's all good, bruh. Keep it coming. Let's do it. Let's go.
I'm going on the up and up. You can have more kids. It's a beautiful thing. Like my life is almost just beginning, where it's like if you are the single girl boss, your life is kind of ending at that point. And it's so disappointing to see that they don't realize that it didn't have to be this way for them.
With greater,
she's right about that.
I think all of you are probably have heard of greater male variability hypothesis. Are you familiar? So if we look at the strength chart, actually, it's pretty interesting. You can see that the median male strength, it's wider than female strength. Mm-hmm. So greater male variability hypothesis is that there are
he's still in the chat men, at Archie Bunker to troll him. Get his ass out of here.
We cluster around the mean.
Well,
at
so think about
Archie Bunker
for entering the marketplace. You want to be the girl boss. You want to be the CEO. If you look at grip strength, which is not indicative, doesn't necessarily correlate specifically with capability to run a company. Mm-hmm. Look at the guys in the high end, which are triple the median grip strength, the highest end of guys. There's 500 Fortune 500s. There are 330 million Americans. Let's say there's 150. Let's say there's 80 million adult.
EDM says, I wonder how Donovan keeps his cool stream after stream. Oh, EDM, my friend. You need to go back to the episode 200s. The reason I'm able to keep my cool, Devin, we are not going to playfully troll him. Number one. Number two, Devin, you're a woman. You don't need to be trolling anybody. Stand down, sweetheart. Stand down. Mac with the $10 super chat says, hit the like, haters. Absolutely. EDM says, I don't know how you keep your cool. Dude, I used to not be able to do it. Man. I used to not be able to do it, but as I told Devin a few months ago, I got to start engaging with these guys so I can know how to do it. Archie Bunker still got to be a virgin. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, let's do it.
Males.
Let's do it.
Only.
Ooh, Archie Bunker, clean your keyboard. We know it's sticky. Yep. Absolutely.
500 will be top CEOs.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Look, you guys have to at him for us to know that he's still in here. So keep at it.
Means the girl boss who is in her late 20s, entering her 30s, and thinks, I want to be the CEO, not the mom, has to compete with the highest end of the male capability spectrum, which tends to be, due to greater male variability hypothesis, there's going to be 10,000 male geniuses of insane strength fighting each other, and there's going to be 100 females. That means the likelihood of you seeing a Fortune 500 CEO female is going to be very, very low. Unless we pass DEI laws.
Can I ask a question? I don't know if this is a dumb question, but why does grip strength have to do with CEOs?
Well, Pearl, Tim Cass just told you that a man's grip strength doesn't have anything to do with them being able to run companies. White Splinter 674 with the $2 Rumble Rant says, you know what's sad? Is that these women will be in their 40s, not married, no kids, depressed, and still will let women ruin their lives like she did. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
grip strength?
That's why I said this is not a direct correlation between.
That's why I missed
There you go. See, she missed that part. Like I said,
what is that?
But it tends to be this way in a lot of
fine.
where even
This
the
is
exceptional men are so far ahead of everybody else that it's like,
okay,
this is simply an example of greater male variability.
Yes, greater male variability. I love that. The greater male variability. Men, we are so much better at so many more things than women. We are so much more interested in so many more things than women. That's why he drew that direct correlation between the Call Me Daddy podcast and Joe Rogan. Call Me Daddy, all they talk about on Call Me Daddy is blowjobs and the least painful way to take it in the ass, right? But Joe Rogan, dude, talks about sports, fitness, culture, the laws, all that stuff.
It does not correlate with COs.
Yeah.
It's an example of how in grip strength, almost all women cluster right at the same point. Mm-hmm. But men, look at this.
I think IQ is similar.
Yeah, IQ is similar. Again, women are more clustered around the mean,
right.
so their curve is looking more like this. Men look like this. So you're going to have dumber men for sure, but you're also going to have way
I don't believe
men.
it. Sorry. I know. I don't. I just look at life outcomes. I know all the academics. They'll say the science is proven, whatever.
You gotta trust the science,
but
bro.
Look, I'm sorry. I have to believe what's in front of my eyes. I've interviewed 1,000 men, 1,000 women. Women make way dumber life choices.
Thank you.
Yes, you
absolutely.
Convince me otherwise.
Probably what some of the dumbest life choices.
Oh, you already know what's about to happen. Here we go. Lauren's move is anytime. Oh, I already know. Anytime Pearl says anything unflattering about women, Lauren likes to say, "What about the mendo?" Let's see if she surprises us.
Choices.
Watch.
You won't convince me otherwise.
See, she wants to jump in. Because she's going to say, "What about the mendo?"
Probably what some of the dumbest life choices you could make would be the ones that lead you to be homeless. Homeless are overwhelmingly men.
Oh, let's talk about the homeless.
Homeless are overwhelmingly men. There it is. See that? She says, let's talk about making dumb choices that make you end up homeless. Most homeless people are men. What Lauren is disingenuously leaving out, and this is another Rocky Savo theory. Attractive women will never be homeless. We needed him to tell us that. If you're an attractive woman, you will never be homeless. If you are an attractive woman, you will never be homeless. That's the bottom line. It doesn't matter what decisions, guys, it does not matter what decisions a woman makes. She will not end up homeless. So when you do see a woman who is homeless, you know she has burned literally every bridge at least 3 times over. Every bridge at least 3 times over. It is very, very rare to see a homeless woman, even ugly homeless women. So what Lauren is trying to say is that men make more terrible life decisions than women, simply because there are more homeless men than there are homeless women. Nope, sorry. Yeah, there it is. Men don't qualify for Section 8 housing. There you go.
Actually, no.
Wait. I gotta address your point. I gotta address your point.
See, fucking Tim. I don't like when Tim does this. I don't like when, now now Tim is starting to irk me a little bit here. Because Pearl was about to absolutely ether this bitch, and Tim once again is jumping in to save her. Come on, man.
Would be the ones that lead you to be homeless.
Come on.
Homeless are overwhelmingly men.
Oh, let's talk about the homeless. Actually, no.
Wait. I gotta address your point. I gotta address your point. You said women make worse life choices. I'd say a man who married a woman who divorced him and took his stuff made a poor life choice.
That's true. People make their own decisions, responsible for their own actions.
Yeah, I think the equivalent of that would be if I get into a contract with you and you're paid to fuck me over, steal my kids, and take my money.
Yeah, you screwed up. That's your fault.
Right. So then mentioning
no, that's not our fault. That's the law's fault.
Get married by that logic. So.
Matter of fact, women that take advantage of the law, just like what's his name was talking about. So again, there goes Tim. If you marry a woman and she ends up fucking you over, that's your fault. So he still wants to blame, but here's the thing. The woman still made the bad decision. This is absolutely crazy.
So
don't get married unless you're absolutely sure you know what you're doing.
Or have children by that logic, because women are always paid, and they're paid to leave.
Well, I mean, I'm going to push back on the idea that women are paid to leave.
No, we need to go back to the homeless thing. Let's go back.
I actually want
If you're married to like a rich guy, you are better off if you're just interested financially. You have access to greater resources.
I hope she goes back to the homeless thing.
By staying married.
But what is your argument that men should get married anyway, even if they risk divorce?
No. My argument is that men should pick for themselves, but I would never downplay the risk of marriage, and I think it could happen to anyone.
Yeah, poor life choice.
No.
See, now there you go. There you go. Poor life choice. Tim, buddy, did it ever occur to you? See, here's what Tim is saying. He is saying, well, that was a poor life choice, as though he was making a decision that he knew was a poor life choice. When women decide to fuck a guy 17 minutes after they met him on Tinder, she knows that's a poor life choice, right? When a woman is drinking and doing drugs in a room full of horny men, she knows that that's a poor life choice. But when a man marries an unscrupulous woman, he doesn't realize that's a poor life choice until she's got him in divorce and family court. Because women like to pretend to be good girls when they really are hoes. You see, you got a guy who thinks he's making a good life choice. Unbeknownst to him, he's got a woman with a past and a history. That's disingenuous, Tim. Be better.
If they're watching your show and they believe what you're saying, they made a dumb choice.
All right, rude, but even a good woman, sometimes women in their 20s change.
There you go.
So they might say one thing in their 20s, and then their 30s and 40s, they might switch.
Men shouldn't get married.
Look at conservative
That's
comment.
right.
No, because they are still incentivized to leave.
Right,
Yes.
so men shouldn't get married.
Oh wait,
Yes.
should or shouldn't?
Shouldn't.
Well, I'm saying men should pick for themselves, but I would never downplay that risk. But I want to go.
If they're going to listen to everything you just said and then choose to get married, they made a poor life choice.
I'm not saying it's good or bad. I am saying that from a contractual standpoint,
There you go.
it would not be a contract that favors them.
Right. So the point is,
Tim is trying to oversimplify this to validate Lauren Chen's "what about the men don't" argument with poor life choices. This is being done in bad faith with Tim. You can't say that if you get raked over the coals by a woman by women in a divorce court, that he made a poor life choice. He didn't know he was making a poor life choice at the time, Tim. Women know how to fool men. Women aren't stupid. White Splinter with a $2 super chat says a rich man can change a poor woman's life, but a rich woman would never look a poor man's way. Goddamn right. There you go.
if your argument is the system is weighted against you,
correct,
you can get divorced, then the logical thing a smart man could do is not get married and have kids.
Yes, and I agree with Tim. Tim is absolutely right. But what Tim is doing, the only reason he is doing this is because he is trying to take up for Lauren, who is getting absolutely filleted right now. I think he's just trying to balance things.
Yeah, if they wanted a contract that favored them, yes.
Right.
But I want to go back to the homeless. And the problem you get with a lot of this stuff is that there's not a lot of studies put into men's issues. So a lot of times what you see with the data is you're not getting the full picture, because most studies that are funded, it's for women, and the government is run by feminists. So there's a guy, he's out of Michigan. His name's Terrence Popp. Really, really smart guy.
Oh, Terrence Popp, Don DeMarco. Good for him.
Followed 1,800 divorces in Michigan. And what he did was he found the reason for the divorces, and he actually followed a lot of those men to homeless shelters. And he found that if he goes to homeless shelters, 70% of the men owe child support.
Wow. Oh, wow. Guys, I gotta tell you, that is not something that I saw coming. 70% of men in homeless shelters owe child support? Dude. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can't even imagine. Is that true? Somebody, dude. Oh, this dude. Somebody look that up for me, please. Because if 70% of men in homeless shelters owe child support, oh my God. Oh, yeah. Phoenix Light Game.
A lot of men are.
Sorry. Phoenix Light Games with the $10 super chat says they're trying to throw Pearl off. She really wants to go back to the homeless argument, but they keep deflecting. This is rubbing me the wrong way. The homeless argument is the finisher. Yep. Shane will win with the $10 super chat says, i.e. the Steven Crowder divorce. Let's go. Oops. Oh, my bad.
Become homeless because of the system.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but that's my point. But the way you're painting it is like, oh, if they're homeless, that's just a poor life choice.
But I mean, from your own logic, you know, if you have sex with a guy who knocks you up then leaves, that's a poor life choice, right? These are.
Yes, but again, what you're talking about is having unprotected sex with a man that you're not married to. So that is a poor life choice. She's trying to equate female poor life choices with male poor life choices. Come on now.
We can say poor life choices to some degree. That gets you there. Doesn't absolve the other person of responsibility.
There you go. Doesn't absolve the other person of responsibility. There we are. What about the men-do argument? Oh my God. Phoenix Light Games says, oh wow, Pearl, I did not know that. So that would mean that women have an influence in men's homelessness. Of course they would.
You are ultimately at least a little bit culpable for the
I'm not saying they're not culpable, but what I'm saying is that he shouldn't have to.
Right. And being a little bit culpable is not a poor life choice, Lauren. Okay, so look, we can agree. Look, and look, I'll be the first to tell you. If a man is homeless, yeah, he's got to be culpable to some degree. Right? But let's not pretend that him owing child support was not a part of that. Phoenix Light Games with the $5 super chat says, looked it up, Donovan. Pearl is right. Unfortunately, this is sad. Man, that is incredible. I had no idea. Atomic Reflection says, again, women's entitlement to no strings attached sex. Yeah, no strings attached sex is always a poor life choice.
To be enslaved for 18 years to a woman because he made a poor life choice. And there's no female equivalent of that. No, because the woman can always put the guy on child support for the most part.
Having to raise a child that perhaps you did not want in single motherhood, some women would say that would be being enslaved.
This is so funny. Lauren doesn't, you guys, don't look now, but Lauren is actually debating like a feminist. Lauren is debating like a feminist. Do you see what's happening here? Pearl is trying to tell Lauren, hey, there are men's issues. And Lauren is doing her best to invalidate men's issues. Guys, this is not a trad woman. This is not a traditional woman. This is a feminist in disguise.
Still has the choice to abort. And adoption as well. You know, there's a case in Utah where a woman wanted to give up her son for adoption. The husband wanted it. He wanted to raise. He said, "Please let me raise." He had no rights. The kid's gone.
Do you think women should be drafted?
No.
I think as long as we can vote, we should be drafted. I think it's better that we didn't vote.
Agreed.
But I think if you're going to give women the freedom, like as long as we have the freedom, give them the responsibility that comes with it, or you can opt out.
If you give them the responsibility, you give them the freedom. There you go.
Yeah. I talked to Vivek Ramaswamy about this a year ago. He doesn't really stand in this position today, but it was a brilliant idea. He said, maybe it should be, if you want to vote, you have to sign up for the selective service.
Yeah,
because
you have a
this doesn't mean you will be drafted, because we haven't had it drafted.
Yeah, you have a dog in the fight.
Years. It just means that men and women both would have to say, I am willing to fight when the need arises, and then you're allowed to vote. Mm-hmm. What would happen? Overwhelmingly, liberals would no longer vote, and women would no longer vote.
There you go.
Right, but that's why you also have to get rid of the 19th Amendment, because I don't know if you guys saw this, but Sheets, Tim, we're getting into this. So Sheets, it's this...
Scott Oregon with the $10 super chat says, most beautiful/educated women will never give a man a child if they do not put a ring on their finger. So for Tim to have to say children out of wedlock is really unrealistic. Yeah, you're right. You're right about that, Scott. That's a very good point.
Like kind of gas station company, they're actually being taken to court by a federal agency for discriminating against black applicants. Why, you might say? Well, it turns out part of their screening process is they do a background check on applicants, and they don't want people who have a criminal background. Sounds reasonable enough. But what the government found was that black applicants were actually being ruled out of the running for jobs at a higher rate than white or Hispanic applicants.
What does that have to do with the 19th?
I don't know what the hell that has to do with women not being able to vote. What the fuck does that have to do with not being able to vote? Huh? What? Why are we bringing that up? Wait.
Of the running for found was that black applicants were actually being ruled out of the running for jobs at a higher rate than
what's that got to do with anything, Lauren?
white or Hispanic applicants.
What does that have to do with the 19th Amendment?
Thank you.
No, it's the Civil Rights Act, right?
Oh.
So basically, the federal
I got
agents are actually acknowledging that perhaps this discrimination was not purposeful, right? They weren't trying to discriminate against black people, but still, because the outcome was inequitable toward black people, they were still running afoul of the Civil Rights Act, which prevents discrimination based on like immutable character.
This has nothing, dude. Okay. So the 19th Amendment was a Civil Rights Act, but it had nothing to do. It had nothing to do with civil rights. Like, what is she? This is, guys, this is a woman. Women should vote or not. Why is she bringing in black people? Oh, that's right, because she's a feminism. Oh, Jesus fucking, oh my God. Oh my God. Did I just say she's a feminism? Ignorant. Look, I got to call myself out here too. That was very ignorant.
So I am in favor of service through citizenship, but the reason why the 19th Amendment is a problem with that is that if it were to be the case that there was some sort of metric for service for voting and it happened that women were disproportionately not represented, I could see they would absolutely make the case that that requirement was running afoul of the 19th Amendment because the outcomes were unequal.
That made absolutely no sense whatsoever. Like, no sense. And look how she's sitting there as though she just dropped the mic. What did that have to do with allowing women to vote? That had nothing to do with anything. Lauren. I thought she was smarter than this, man.
Yeah.
Does everybody agree to get rid of the 19th? Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Yes.
What are your reasons for it, Pearl?
That women shouldn't vote.
Now. She says, what are your reasons for it, Pearl? This was a setup. White Splinter with the $2 super chat says, let's not forget that women in the 1890s were offended at the right to vote but said no because they would have had to do selective service. There you go. Roadblock 85 says, Lauren is absolutely a feminist. She talks about motherhood like it's a punishment. They also talk about pregnancy like it's an illness. Now, I did not know that. I did not know she did all that. Damn.
The 19th, is that what
you're?
Yeah.
Yes.
What are your reasons for it, Pearl?
That women shouldn't vote because we don't do equal work. So I think if we're not running the infrastructure, if we're not in the military like men are, and we're not paying taxes like men are, I don't think that we should vote.
Or dying on oil rigs.
Right. Yeah.
So it's basically like women aren't contributing enough to society in the same way.
Oh, Jesus, Lauren. Philip Smith with the $5 super chat says, these, quote, trad women are like wolves. Oh, I'm sorry. He says these, quote, trad women are like werewolves. As soon as they hear Pearl talk, they turn into man-eating bitches. Love it. King Life with the $2
like that.
With the $2 super chat says, Donovan, what is the correct definition of bitch babble? I'm glad you asked. The correct definition of bitch babble is the nonsensical drivel women spew when they have nothing intelligent to say. They do this to appear intelligent, enlightened, and educated. A very good question and answer there by King Life, which is exactly what Lauren Chen just did. Hashtag bitch babble. Neil Ray, member for 28 months. So she is not a trad woman. Feminist, fully. Shake my head, absolutely. The pimped out platypus, haven't heard from you for a while. $10 super chat says, Title IX, funding matches Title IX, funding matches dollars collected for child support by states with federal dollars, literally incentivizing states to collect as much child support as possible. Absolutely.
The taxes and stuff like that.
I think that men are more capable than women by and large, like as a group, but I was trying to think about how you could apply it to today, because I don't think today you could just say women shouldn't vote. I mean, I do like the T-shirts. Go get them at theaudacitynetwork.com. They're funny T-shirts, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think the only way you'd limit female vote.
But I guess I want to know, like, I want to get to your reasoning why.
Because I think if you're going to have a say,
get to your reason.
This is a trap question. Lauren is looking for Pearl to say something specific. She's looking for a gotcha moment on Pearl. And you want to know how I know she's looking for a gotcha moment? Look at her eyes. Remember, we figured out what Lauren's we figured out what her tell was last time. Her tell is when she blinks. She blinks when Lauren is acting in bad faith. She blinks. Watch the way she asks this question and the way she blinks in the end. Watch.
That's going to happen. I think the only way you'd limit female vote.
But I guess I want to know, like, I want to get to your reasoning why.
Yeah, why? Yeah. Uh-huh. Oops. Oh, wait a minute. I thought I had it back. Sorry, guys. There we go.
Because I think if you're going to have a say in the policies, you need to have some skin in the game.
That's right.
So you need to be running the infrastructure. You need to be a net I mean, I think only 20% of...
Yeah, she's looking for that gotcha moment. Phoenix Light Games with a $5 super chat says, black people don't give a fuck about you, Lauren. Nice try. I can't stand it when women use certain situations and disingenuous arguments. L. Lauren. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
People are net taxpayers anyway.
Very small, yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe own land. You know, we could go back and forth about what exactly you would need to require in order to vote, but I think you have to have some skin in the game. Otherwise, you're just going to keep voting for benefits.
Net taxpayer, real quick, just so everyone understands. Something like only 43% of people pay taxes because the rest are on, like, they don't reach that threshold.
Right.
But of that 43, many are receiving more in government benefits than they actually pay.
So they're still not net taxpayers.
I like the net taxpayer for a vote
Yeah,
argument.
So continuing on that, do you also support repealing the 15th Amendment?
See, she is just trying to get Pearl. She's trying to... Do you see what's happening, guys? You see what's happening? Lauren... This is so funny. It's so cute. Lauren has been... Pearl has made her look like an absolute idiot. Pearl has absolutely just filleted Lauren. And right now, Lauren is scrambling right now. She's scrambling right now, looking for that get back, looking for that gotcha moment. What's your opinion on the 19th Amendment? Okay, couldn't get her anything. What's your opinion on the 15th Amendment?
You have to remind me what the 15th
Do you think
I'm sorry, go
it's
ahead.
basically like the 19th, but for black people?
Here we go. Are you serious? Who said... Somebody called it. Somebody called it, and I didn't pick that up. Oh, I did not pick that up, guys. The 15th Amendment is basically like the 19th for women, except for black people. She is absolutely trying to race bait Pearl. I did not think that that's what she was doing. I thought she was just running off at the mouth, bitch babble, just to sound more intelligent. But she really is trying to trap Pearl in a racial discussion. This is so funny.
It says the rights of citizens in the U.S. to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the U.S. or by any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude.
I don't think so. But I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Is that what you think?
Well, I'm for like service guaranteeing citizenship, and I don't think being a woman should give you the right to vote. I think the same thing applies to race. And if we were to, do something like net taxpayer, property owner, etc., or even like married households, black people would be disproportionately underrepresented like women would be. So if the 15th Amendment is on the books, you're also going to have discrimination that way. So that's why I'm asking why exactly.
So you're saying by that they would claim discrimination if we passed those policies?
Yeah.
Well, then I guess by...
Sasegi with the $5 super chat says, during the Wilson versus Chen debate, Andrew destroyed her totally. Lauren tried to criticize Pearl at every opportunity. Pearl joined that chat. Epic. Oh, wow. Wow, I guess I didn't know that Pearl had... Because we broke down the Wilson versus Chen debate here, Sasegi. So, yeah.
By that logic, it seems like that would make sense too. But I don't really know.
I think I figured out the problem. I think the 28th Amendment, the right to vote shall be, or voting shall be granted only to those who have 2 children or more and are actively in the lives of those children. Now, how you make that legal, but the general idea is you got to...
Oh, wow.
Have 2 kids, and you got to be actively parenting them, or they must be adults, and then you're allowed.
And then you're allowed to vote, and that would essentially eliminate a lot of black people from voting, because as we all know, most black people come from single-parent homes.
No, I still think military members should be able to vote.
And military members, I agree with that.
Yeah, so or like men that have very big like tax, like like if Jeff Bezos didn't, does he have kids? I don't know. But I'm saying like big companies like that, I think it would be fair that they would vote.
I think all of these things together make sense. Like the idea that someone can show up and when I think it was 2020, Andrew Yang said he was going to move to Georgia, end of 2020. So he was going to move to Georgia to help who was it, Warnock or whatever, and I can't remember the guy's name, in Georgia win. And it's like, you don't live there, and you're going to go to their state and vote on how they should be represented is insane.
Right. Yeah.
And that's because in this country, voting is no longer about winning an argument and deciding on how your site should be run. It's about collecting pieces of paper with names on them.
Mm-hmm.
That's
it. Yeah. Good point.
I have a little bit of a different take on women voting, even service and these other things. Like even my husband will say, maybe if they're willing to do like years of service or something. I would still say no based on the argument that the anti-suffragettes made, which was that if you as a woman cannot protect persons or property, if you're not going to be defending the homeland, if you're not going to be defending your home, why should you be voting? And the reason is like this kind of lends itself to the bigger conversation of why do we have this idea that women were historically oppressed? Were they actually oppressed? Mm-hmm. If you go back and read their writings at the time in the 17th, 18th, 19th century, they said, no, we're privileged. And then you'll hear a feminist say something like, well, but they couldn't have bank accounts. But they never tell you why. They never tell you why women didn't have bank accounts or credit cards. And it's because legally, women could not be held responsible for supporting the family.
You see all the debt we have now?
They couldn't be held.
Right.
Yeah, women could not accrue debt that way.
Yeah, see that? The reason why they didn't let women have bank accounts and all that shit is because women are terrible with money. Look at all the debt we have now, just like Pearl said.
And what would be the point of a woman owning a bunch of land if she can't make the land produce anything, she can't defend the land against people who might come and try to take it? There were practical reasons for these things. It wasn't just the evil patriarchy trying to keep women down. And I think those things still apply. Even with modern warfare, you have drone technology, we just talked about guns and how even with guns, men are much better with them than women are.
Yep.
They're just loading, reloading. Anytime you're in a combat situation, men are going to be better. Why would we want to task women with defense of persons and property? So why would we want to grant them voting?
I would be so pissed if I called the cops and they sent me a female cop.
Well, there's something right. If there's a natural disaster, there's like a huge hurricane that takes out the entire southeast, right? And the power's out.
You have a female firefighter.
Nobody's like,
I'm an athlete. I'm 6 foot. I'm taller than most. What are you gonna do that I can't do?
Right. But,
so I wanted to bring up your Nala video. What did
yo. So Lauren tried to get Pearl. She tried to get a gotcha moment from Pearl. Didn't work. Want to know why that gotcha moment didn't work? Because Pearl is a real one and Lauren is not. But now it appears that Pearl is about to go all the way in. Oh boy. Here we go.
What did I do that was so wrong about Nala?
I
wanted to talk about this.
Oh boy.
So, this is a thing where we brought it up when I was talking to Andrew, Rachel's husband. You can find him at The Crucible, I believe is his channel. So basically, I am of the belief that if you are a new convert, you should not be in any type of leadership position at a church, especially as a woman, like pastor. No,
and a woman should never have any leadership role in a church.
Yeah,
to begin with.
That's a red flag.
Yeah.
Right. Phoenix Light Games with the $2 super chat says, yes, Pearl, yes, let's go.
Yes. Basically, if you're going to church and it's like, this is the female pastor.
So we'd agree.
Well, hang on, but I don't disagree with everything you said about her.
See, I don't disagree. There she goes.
But basically, you had some tweets saying like Jesus won't save these hoes,
and he won't.
And I think it's reasonable to be skeptical. And you were kind of digging on whether Nala is or is not still engaging.
She raised her OnlyFans prices after this is confirmed. She raised her OnlyFans prices.
See that?
After she was saved.
See that? See that? Raised her OnlyFans prices after she was saved. Ay, 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 ay.
Right.
I think anything from that, she's full of shit.
Yeah. So I'm not here to. I support you trying to keep her accountable. I don't think that's a bad thing.
Then why did I get a 30-minute video on me?
Thank you.
Then why did I don't know? It's 20 minutes.
It wasn't 30 minutes just on you. I was going through a bunch of tweets.
Classic woman exaggerating the number.
But the idea
Sorry, I'm still a woman.
Yeah. What can you do?
Do you think it is possible for Christ to save someone like Nala?
It's possible, but
absolutely, it's possible for Christ to save someone like Nala. Absolutely. Of course it's possible. I mean, he's God. He's Jesus. Of course he can save Nala. But that's not our responsibility. That's not our responsibility. Sandy W. says it's the performative faith that's repulsive. Absolutely. Absolutely. The performative faith is always the most disingenuous.
But I need some evidence. I need some evidence that you've done something before we put her on a show and say this woman is saved. Because it's going to deter people from Christianity in the long term. If men, see they're putting OnlyFans whores as preachers in churches now. Sorry, I don't know if that's going to affect YouTube. But so I think when someone's clearly full of shit, we got to call them out on it.
Do you not see that there could be kind of a middle ground?
Could. Another big difference between men and women. We talk about, we base our lives on the probabilities. Women base their lives on the possibilities.
Where we say, hey, it is amazing you've come to Christ. Let us encourage you in your walk with as a new Christian, while also simultaneously not saying, hey, let's make this person our preacher.
Would you let a reformed pedophile buy kids in church?
Ooh.
They said sorry. Would you let them buy the kids?
Buy the kids?
Mm-hmm, buy the kids. Would you let them in the church freely? A reformed pedo?
No, I don't think you can be a reformed
pedophile.
So
why are we bringing a reformed hoe who said she wanted to sleep with married men and loved to get them to cheat around married men?
That's it. That's a wrap. There you go. There it is. She's got her. And once again, Lauren's facial expression shows that Pearl has once again bested her. Once again, Lauren has been bested by Pearl, and the proof of it is all over her face. How fucking dare you? How very dare you call me out on my bullshit? The Pimped Out Platypus with the $2 super chat says, does she want to be saved? I don't think so.
Nope.
No, you put them in the back of the church. You say, why don't you show us that you actually put your money where your mouth is, do some work, and then come back.
I don't have a problem with that either. If that's
so then I shouldn't have got this video.
Well, you said Jesus can't save these hoes. That's the issue, right?
Yeah, they
welcome the skepticism.
They have to save them. They have to at least delete the OnlyFans.
Thank you. At the very least.
People say she has deleted it now.
Okay, so no. See, Lauren, don't back up now. Don't back up. See, Nala proved what Pearl said. She went and did this whole I'm saved, and then raised her OnlyFans prices. Come on, man.
She deleted it the day before the Michael Knowles interview.
Woo!
She was saved in December.
Oh, my God.
She had 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. She raised her prices and didn't delete it till the day before. And then I'm still finding Telegram chats. And then the women, it's
those, and I don't know if those look legit.
So now she's going to here we go. Now she's going to doubt the validity of the messages. There she goes. Phoenix Light Games with the $5 super chat says, Lauren, We as men don't see the world for what it could or should be. We see it for what it is. Pearl is right. Until we see action, we will have reservations. The sisterhood is women's failure. Absolutely. Shane will win with the $5 super chat, he says. Appreciate that, Shane.
So but my point is, what you should make sure that all your shit's at least down before you come out and start preaching if you really gave a shit.
It's definitely sketchy, I would say. And I think the problem
sketchy
is with conservatives, like so eager and desperate to find anyone that could potentially be on their side now. Like you see Bill Maher, for instance. Yeah. If Bill Maher, he's clearly a liberal, he'll say free speech is good, woke bad. Conservatives are like, this is our guy, even though he's like a Trump hater, clearly not conservative.
Yes, that's exactly who Lauren is. Remember when she said, hey, the peaceful Latinas agreed with me. Say what?
Conservative, a liberal.
He's just not super woke.
But right, we're just so desperate, so that's why Nala was propped up by everyone.
But I want to show what's happens, because this happens in churches all the time. Right now, you make a video defending an OnlyFans chick, but Crowder couldn't get the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, boy. Oh, man. Oh, man. There it is, guys. There it is. That's, dude. There it is. There it is. There it is, man. That's it. That's it, man. So Lauren is putting out videos. Lauren is putting out videos defending Nala, the OnlyFans star who clearly showed us that she doesn't really give a shit about Christianity, but Steven Crowder can't get the benefit of the doubt, even after Lauren was made aware of the video where his wife said he was not abusive.
Defending an OnlyFans chick, but Crowder couldn't get the benefit of the doubt.
I know. I've known Crowder for a long time. Like that's a different issue.
But I know.
No, that's not a different issue, Lauren. It's the same thing.
But we all know what she did on the internet. She was getting tag teamed by two dudes 8 months ago.
I think you should use her. I think the idea that it whether or not she's truly reformed is immaterial to the fact that she's become a propaganda tool for virtue.
Yeah, but why would you want her to do that if she's going to go back later? What evidence, like, and this is why you have young men. I know you said it's some young men are going to Orthodox, but by and large, men are leaving.
Okay, guys. I am told I just got a text from Pearl. And she can call in. So I'm going to set this thing up, and I'm going to have Pearl. In, and she's going to talk about. She's going to be talking about the trad cons. So while I set this up, enjoy.
Leaving the church.
Right, and they're leaving the woke churches, and they're going back to the really traditional, like the Roman Catholic Latin Mass, the Eastern Orthodox, the really traditional, like Lutherans or Baptists are seeing.
You have to make it more profitable for her to stay as a reformed individual. So if the issue is an OnlyFans hooker comes out and says, I am reformed, I have seen the light, and then prominent people say, we will never accept you, screw you, she goes, there's no light for me. I can't live this way.
I'm saying do some work.
Yes, something that we see. Here's the problem. The problem is they gave her the title of saved for doing nothing but saying I'm saved and being dunked in the water. That was it. All Pearl is doing is say, hey, look, man, if you want to be saved, if you want to call yourself a Christian, fine, no problem. But we need evidence that you are, in fact, a Christian.
My God, could you go to a convent? I mean, she was getting tag teamed by two dudes.
Right.
So, 8 months ago. So it's like, okay, could we send her to, I don't know, some missionary or something?
And so the response from the right should be like, wow, that's
I don't know. Keep her away from the married men. You want to write your husband?
We judge them by their works. I think our response should be
we judge them by their works. Getting tag team. Oh, we judge them by their works. Well, then how do you explain her raising her OnlyFans prices after she was saved? What are we doing? This is absolutely unbelievable. Oh, there it is. Oh, that's not it. All right, sorry about that. Let's, there we go. Okay. Gotta get that off there. Okay,
we accept you, but let us see the fruit of Christ within your life.
Yes, exactly. And this is exactly what Pearl is talking about. Unbelievable. All right. I'm going to send Pearl the link here. And we are going to have her in here shortly. All right. This is cool, man. Let's continue.
And I think, people have been critical about, well, all the millions that you've made essentially leading young men to sin. I think it would be a great show of faith if she were to do something with that.
But she didn't. And I'm willing to bet that she doesn't want to. Listen, this is a great idea, Lauren, but she's not doing that.
Money,
exactly.
Whether it be charitable to a church donation, something like that, maybe even specifically a men's organization, because that's the group that she was predating on and exploiting.
And what you're communicating to young women is you can do whatever you want, say sorry, and here's your media.
Wow. You can do whatever you want, say sorry, and you're instantly forgiven. It is time to bring her on. All right, Pearl. So Pearl Davis is in the building. Pearl, how are we doing today?
Good. I'm glad you're reacting to this. I came to cook and I delivered.
Yes, you did.
More than one way.
So a lot of people, myself included, we are not. I've been aware of TradCons for a while, but I didn't realize. I didn't realize what exactly a TradCon was. I knew that it had to do with being married and this and that and the third, but explain to my audience what TradCon women endorse versus what they actually do.
All right, I'll tell you about TradCon women. I grew up around these bitches, so I know them like the back of my hand.
Of course,
them like the back of my. Their shit doesn't. They're the type of women that say, "I'll pray for you" as a way to tell you to go fuck yourself.
Yep, that's right.
So what they love to do is just to use the Bible to tell everyone what to do and control you. They're the women that have 2 kids in private school and love to go to the meetings and tell everyone else how to live. And when you're having a big ball of fun at school, they're the ones to ruin it immediately because they got to cry about something.
So suffice it to say, you're very familiar.
Because I prefer the whores that are overtly mean to me.
Yes.
Well, what they do is they're passive aggressive, and then when I respond, I am the bad guy, I am the demon, I am the evil, I just have a crush on them, blah, 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 blah.
Of course.
So what happened with Lauren is this chick has been making videos about me for a year.
Wow, I didn't know it was that long. I thought it was just a couple of videos.
No, about a year now. She has been making videos bitching about every single thing. She doesn't like my tone. She doesn't like the way I say so. She's always in my comments section. Yeah, and so, I just said, F it, volleyball's over. Let's do a debate. Let's talk about the things that I said.
Okay. And this was the result. So give us a little bit of insight in
that's
terms.
That's my producer, by the way. I see him in the background.
Blessing. Oh yeah. Say what's up, Blessing. Blessing. Oh yeah, that's right, exactly. But they'll see him in the background, and I guarantee you, Pearl. I guarantee you. Someone will be like, Pearl is at some nigga's house, and this and that and the third, and oh my god, and then of course everyone will play your favorite song. Yeah, of course. All right, there it is. All right, anyway.
I was like, oh shit.
Anyway, go ahead.
But yeah, so for a year, this chick has been making video after video. Every tweet I have. And they lie in the most annoying ways. I'll give you an example.
Okay.
When I said, "Who are you to tell a man how to speak to his wife in his house?"
Woo!
She said, "Pearl, but you call men simps all the time."
Right.
Yeah, because they're in my comments section.
Yes, that's right.
I mean, if they're in my comments section, that's fair game. We're here to debate. That's like me coming on this show and then you saying, "Why are you talking?" Well, I'm here.
Right.
Anyways, so what happened? And so she's lying because she's trying to make it a question that I didn't ask.
Right. Yeah, she's straw manning.
You tell Steven Crowder how to talk to his wife in his home.
Unbelievable. And she's supposed to be traditional.
Next day, she has another tweet Because obviously I'm going to victory lap. Obviously I'm going to clip the shit out of it.
Damn right. Damn right.
You've been making money off of me for a year. Nope. You're making money. You've been calling me a lot. You've been saying all this stuff. So now it's been a year. And yeah, I'm here. And so she says, she misrepresents what I said, but she keeps saying, but Pearl, you do that all the time. Have I ever told you how to talk to Devin in your house?
Hell no. Of course not. Of course not.
I would never.
Of course not. Of course not. See, what Lauren likes to do, she actually argues like a feminist. If you notice, and you probably picked up on this, is that every time you point out something, when you make an unflattering statement about women in general, she normally does, she always goes with the what about the men do argument. Then when you say something unflattering about her, like who are you to tell another man how to talk to his wife in his own house, isn't that out of order? What's the first thing she says? Well, don't you do the same thing? She never denied it. She just wanted to deflect. Well, you do it too. And what Lauren needs to understand is you telling off Sims is not the same as her trying to tone police men in their own homes. That doesn't sound traditional to me at all.
Well, and that's the thing. These freaking trad feminists, they want all of the freedom without the responsibility that comes with it.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Like even the abortion question. Okay, we have the freedom. To marry who we want, get pregnant by who we want,
right?
Fuck who we want.
Yeah.
So take the responsibility. If you're a single mom, take that L and just raise the kid. It's an L. I mean, if he didn't want to be a dad, that's your fault. You could have fucked anybody.
I'm going to tell you what, man. What was really profound to me was your argument about men not being like women can opt out of motherhood, but men can't opt out of fatherhood. And what I was talking about on my reaction, the first one, is that with great power comes great responsibility. The way I see it is this: birth control is a woman's responsibility. And the example that I like to use is actually given to somebody in the chat. If you have a no smoking in my house policy, right? Hey, no smoking in my house, do it on the back porch. And someone comes in and they smoke in your house and you do nothing about it, it's your fault that your house smells like smoke. You know what it smells like when somebody smokes into your house, just like a woman knows what a condomless dick feels like inside her vagina. Women, again, my body, my choice. Okay, your body, your responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. And women never want to say, this is why Lauren, when she said, well, they could also not be not be making single mothers by not having unprotected sex and and coming in these women. That was a black woman argument. Unbelievable.
Oh yeah, and that's what she kept. That's the other thing. She tried to pull the it's just black women.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. The black community has its problems, but let's not forget about the white community. Okay. I have never seen more vicious women in divorce court than white women. I have never seen it. Look at the most sneaky, manipulative shit I've seen. I'm not saying black women don't do it, but I'm just saying with my eyes, I've seen the exact same patterns of behavior with white women. We just make it down the aisle at a higher rate. We're a little thinner. That's it. That's the difference.
Oh my God.
We get 2 kids out of it and then we do the same thing.
Sheesh. We got a super chats coming in hot and heavy for you. Siege D says, great work, Pearl. What'd you think about Crucible? Good question.
Crucible.
The Crucible. Andrew Wilson, the Crucible debate.
Andrew. Okay, sorry.
Yes, yeah. That's what we call people.
Because I know him. I call him by his first name. But yeah, he was funny.
Okay,
great.
Very good.
He's a great debater. He's awesome.
Phoenix Light Games with a $20 super chat says, Pearl, you're absolutely right. I did some research. Lauren only started talking shit about you the moment you passed her in subscribers. In the beginning, she was all for you, but when you reached 2 million, all hell broke loose. Pearl, I'm here to tell you. Lauren dislikes you for the same reason Rollo Tomasi likes you. Remember, and this is me saying it, not you. Because I remember Rollo, he was all for what you did and this and that and the third until you passed him in subscribers. Lauren even said it herself. She said, I used to be a fan of Pearl. I used to support Pearl. What's different? She has more subscribers than you, and she doesn't have to pander to her audience. What are your thoughts on that?
What are my thoughts? I mean, yeah, these bitches are always jealous. And it's what's annoying to me. Trad feminists are worse. You know what?
Sure.
I swear to God, I would take a OnlyFans whore before a trad feminist.
Woo! Wow.
OnlyFans whore is being freaking
honest. Absolutely.
Honest. And what the trad feminists will do is they'll do things that are bitchy. They will lie. They will be passive aggressive, and then they'll pretend like they didn't. They're like the queens of gaslighting. They're the queens. The queens. And so, I don't feel bad in the slightest. I'll keep clipping. I'll keep clipping everything.
Absolutely. Why do you think TradCon women, because TradCon women tend to be very attractive. The Isabella chick was a goddamn smoke show.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, she is fucking gorgeous. But why do women become TradCons? I don't understand. Why are they going to become TradCons? Oh, okay.
I know these women in the church. A lot of these women were raised in church communities. Okay. So Catholic, Christian, like that's where a lot of them come from.
Okay.
Some maybe had a hoe, whatever, in college or like whatever, and then go back. Some maybe just are raised in that community and get married. So what happens with these women is most churches worship women, not God. And so they've been worshipped. They totally do.
Wow.
So you grow up getting chastity speakers, saying that the men use you.
Yep.
Well, even that language in itself, there's no accountability.
Right.
You can Google this stuff online. Google Christiana Jason Everett, one of the biggest Catholic speakers.
Okay.
And it's the same old story. It's the Christian woman who found God after her hoe phase and found a virgin man. I mean, let's just call it what it is, right?
It's craziness.
And so they basically tell women you can do whatever you want, say sorry, and the man will bail you out of your bad decisions.
Phoenix.
A lot of them do too, to be fair. Like,
well,
call it what it is.
Yeah, look. They a lot of them do get bailed out. But the joke's on the women, because the men that actually do bail them out are not the men they want. It's never like that. Phoenix Light Games with the $5 super chat says, Pearl, you can blame me. I told Donovan to play the Knight Rider song. You can hate on me. Love your reaction.
I don't care. I just wanted to clarify, because I was like, I know how the internet is, so they'll see someone running. I'm like, no, producer.
No, producer. Yes. Just like when you said, yeah, I've been to Dubai. And then I remember, and no one in the studio, when you said you've been, they're like, oh, cool, you've been to Dubai. But you're like, no, wait a minute. No. Hold on. Hold everything. I went with my parents. I was with my parents. Yes. Mason with the $2 super chat says, Pearl, you like military men? Pearl is taken. She likes the man she has. Nice try, though. Where do you think the TradCon movement goes? Because it's failure after failure after failure, man. I mean, the Lauren Southern situation, the Steven Crowder situation, Lauren Chen's relationship. Look, I don't know how long her relationship is going to last, but she's clearly a feminist, and feminists just don't work in relationships.
Where will the TradCon movement go? What I would predict is that they'll keep getting stupid young men that don't know any better to wife up their whores, and it'll just be at a lower rate. It'll just be like, maybe the last generation got 100 men to believe that shit. The next generation will be 50. Men are naturally logical.
Yeah, of course.
So if they look around and they see 3 of their friends getting fucked over by TradCon women, you can't gaslight them.
No.
Like, that's the thing. These women want us to not believe what's in front of our eyes.
Yes.
Okay, Lauren. Let me look at the white conservative Christian women on the right. Let me look at them and see how much better you guys behave. So much better, right? Lauren Southern, same thing.
Nope.
Wait, hold on. I have a list here.
Oh, we got.
Okay, the right. Amy Grant, nope. Kellyanne Conway, nope. Lauren Boebert, nope. Sarah Palin, nope. Marjorie Taylor Greene, nope. Let's go to the men.
Oh my God.
The men have it figured out, right? Rick McCormick, nope. Jeff Duncan, nope. Andrew Clavin himself.
Wow.
Nope. Kenneth Copeland, nope. Yeah, it's his second or third marriage. Can't remember which.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so it's like if your religion was such, and the thing is, they have such, their ego is invested in their religion.
Yes.
And so they don't look at the facts. They just look at religion, and you can be religious, right?
Yes, of course.
But the way that the world is going today, I don't know how the hell you're gonna be celibate until you're fucking 30.
Yes.
You're gonna tell young men that's a good idea. Let me get this straight. These are the young men's options. They're the bad guys if they have sex with the women that want to have sex with them. They're the bad guys. And your options are that they need to, let me get this straight, wait till the women decide they want to marry them around 30, and then go to church and get born again virgins and wait for non-virgin women.
Oh my God.
That's a good idea. And even if the women are virgins, like let's have a conversation. I couldn't figure out why men kept telling me they wanted to avoid virgin women. And what I realized is if a woman's a virgin over a certain age, usually over a certain age, she's either crazy hypergamous.
Right.
So she thinks all she has to bring to the table is her virginity. She thinks it's like the hottest.
Her hymen is this, yeah.
Yeah. When really, like, it's obviously, better, but you got to bring more than just sex.
That's all right.
Like it's still like to a guy that gets laid a lot. It's still just sex, and then the other issue is a lot of them are not that sexual. Because really, like think about it. If a woman's 22, or let's just say, there's women that have lost their virginities as young as 14 now.
Yeah, of course.
14, 15 is normal. Okay. So let's say she's 25 and still a virgin. You got to ask, either all of the men that approached her haven't have been good enough. That's a problem.
That's a problem. Yep.
Or 2, asexual. That's a problem. Or 3, something's wrong, cuckoo.
Even crazy. Listen, and even crazy bitches get dick. So if you're that crazy, and somebody just put this example, Pearl. Remember, I told you when we discussed this, Lolo Jones, beautiful woman, Olympian, well accomplished. She's probably not a virgin anymore, but she reached the age of 40 as a virgin. And the reason why she reached the age of 40 as a virgin is because, just like you said, she thought her hymen was just the crown jewel and that men would be bending over backwards for a chance to fuck her.
Well, and the other thing is, if you've been wanting to have sex since you were 15 years old, like, I mean, if you really like a guy, you'd sleep with him, even if you were a virgin.
Of course. Of course.
Their solution, and the church pushes this to marry men you don't like that much, and that's not.
One thing that I picked up on that, and this might also, and I'll let you go on this one because I know you've got other stuff to do there with Blessing. But one thing that Lauren kept saying is like, I am in favor of a God-fearing, Christian-led, religious-based leadership from men. But what she doesn't realize, or she probably realizes, is that the Protestant church, they've got 112 different Bibles, and they interpret them in 112 different ways. So they like to pick and choose which parts benefit them. This is why when you said, should you be allowed to tell another man how to talk to his wife in his own home? The reason why she didn't say no is because, number one, she believes that she actually can, which means she's not really conservative. But number two, so that she could say, you got to follow the Bible. Well, as we all know, just like you said, the Protestant church worships women more than God, and so they know that in the back of their mind. So either way, they're going to get their way. Do feminists like Lauren Chen realize that by saying, "Hey, we need to be led by the Bible," how highly subjective the faith is? Okay, I didn't think so.
No, because most of these women, again, they don't care about God. They care about looking good.
Yes. Wow. Yes, they do.
They don't care about being a kind, considerate person, because people that are really religious, they don't really talk about it.
No, they don't.
Like,
they talk about themselves.
It's like you feel it on them. It's like you almost like feel that they're just a godly person, and they might mention it, but it's not a brand.
Sure, that makes sense.
And what I find is from women with brands, it's just playing pretend. Even in the beginning, when I asked, "Were any of you virgins?"
And they all it was dead silence. Yeah.
Okay, so stop yelling at men for sleeping around. You did the same thing. Get the fuck out of my face. Like,
what about the man though?
Great, you took 3 dicks and not 33. Like, okay, amazing.
Good for you.
But, like,
awesome.
You're not you're not.
Congratulations for not being a slut.
I'm like, let's not play pretend like you guys are these pure, innocent Like, get the fuck out of my face. Your husband might believe that, but I don't.
But I got one more simple question. The next time you see Lauren, why do you and I could be wrong. There was a quarterback in the NFL by the name of Jeff Garcia, and he was as white as a ghost. So I do understand that there are Caucasian, different people have different, like Jessica Wong. She's the black woman that was on with Kevin Samuels when he was down in Miami, God rest his soul. Jessica Wong, she is a black Jamaican woman and all that. Is Lauren's husband Asian, and is his last name Chen? If not, why does Lauren use her maiden name on the internet?
Okay, so no, I think he's white, and I think that I've seen him. You can watch a video of them, actually. You can YouTube it.
Okay.
And I know she doesn't have his last name publicly. The excuses I give, which they're all excuses, because ladies, let's just be honest.
Yep.
If you actually want to be with your husband, I'm sorry, you're ecstatic to be associated with him.
Of course.
You cannot wait to take his last name. And even if there's maybe some people don't want to legally do it because it's too difficult, fine. But they will at least publicly take his last name.
Yes.
They will at least publicly say, even if your ID doesn't match, whatever, you would put Lauren, whatever her husband's last name is, because you're so proud to be with him. But unfortunately, they marry a bunch of simps.
Yep.
And,
the reason
they don't even know that they don't like them that much. Because
right.
They don't know it. They don't realize it. But it's really apparent to everyone in their behavior. Like, an example I'll give you is during that debate, she said, what did she say? She said, I beat my husband at something.
Yes. No. Stop, Pearl. Stop. You guys were talking about hand-eye coordination. 30 minutes ago, she was talking about how her husband was into BJJ and this and that. Then you're talking about hand-eye coordination. He says, when it comes to hand-eye coordination with guns, I completely destroy my husband in that. But for the most part, men are better. Pearl, I didn't buy that for 1 minute. What the fuck would she say that for?
Yeah, what is the point? And it's because they don't even realize they don't like their husbands, but it's apparent to everyone involved. Because again, and the other red flag is like, why did she wait so many years before having a kid with him?
Ooh.
Again, you really like the guy. You're like, I'm ready. Give me a kid. And it's one thing if he doesn't want the kids. That's a different thing.
Of course.
Women will get on his program.
Sure.
Fine. But I don't know, if I had to guess,
she was probably the one.
I would get, if I had to, based on the behavior that I see, nothing personal, but that's the pattern of behavior that I see with other women too.
Phoenix Light Games with the $10 super chat says, for one more thing, I want to say, Pearl, I appreciate your appearance on Fresh and Fit. You provided a lot of value. Loved your game. Fat or thick, sorry for all of the commotion you had to deal with. W Pearl, WICW. Melissa, appreciate that. What was, real quick, what was that like? Like, holy, weren't you there for the fight?
Oh my God. My thought was, this is why I don't do shows anymore.
Wow. Unbelievable.
This is exactly why I have retired from show business.
You said it.
I cannot deal with these hoes. I really can't.
Jesus Christ, man.
I mean, I'm like, and the thing was, this is what everyone was coming at Myron because he said some stuff about black women in that clip.
Yeah, of course.
But none of them saw he was incredibly patient with her.
Of course he was.
He was incredibly patient.
Yeah.
People have no idea how terrible these women are to get.
She called his mother a bitch 4 times, Pearl. Like, come on. And I remember the one, I'll tell you what, low key, not even the loud girl. She wasn't even the worst guest. The worst guest was the girl, the 19-year-old sitting to your right, the little 19-year-old boss bitch. I remember the very question you asked her. It went right over her head. You were so indignant. You says, what have you accomplished to make you think you can talk to him this way? And she didn't even understand what you were talking about. Like, the nerve of these women.
Well, yeah, and then they say, "Oh, Pearl, what have you accomplished?" And I'm like,
"I got 2 million. Yeah, more than you, bitch. Yeah, right, exactly."
But it's like it blows my mind because women, we think because we get on these shows with these men that we have provided as much value to society as them, and it's just not true. The men have to. I mean, look at Myron and look at me. We did a very similar show.
Sure.
I mean, Myron had to become a freaking. I don't remember what he did in the FBI, like Homeland.
Yeah, Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah, that's a really hard job. He had to build a whole career to be to the point that men would take him seriously.
That's right.
Men have to, and even my talents. Like one's Troy. He had to work as a dating coach for 10 years. One is a pretty blonde chick. She's smart too, but guys, let's just call it what it is. You know, as women, we're kind of in the Special Olympics over here. Like, I mean, you can be good. You can cheer us on and say good job. But
oh my God.
The men have to work 10 times as hard to be someone that people want to listen to, unless maybe they're gifted. Like, you know, there's the occasional young streamer that's like, you know, Kai Cenat, you know.
Yeah, that just wise beyond their years.
But I wouldn't even say wise beyond their years. They can just, I mean, no one really, I mean, did people respect the Kai kid? I don't know.
Probably not.
Yeah, I know. But it's the exception, not the rule.
Sure, of course.
They get these big egos because they're on these shows and they get to interact with all these men. And it's like, no, Chica, you gotta.
The only reason why these girls get on, and these women never realize, Pearl, that the only reason why they get around these men is because of the way they look. And that's it. It has nothing to do with their charm, their personality, their accomplishments, or lack thereof. You look good. Men want to fuck you. That's why you're around millionaires, not because of your personality or knowledge or career. It's ridiculous. Siege D with the $5 super chat says, I was pissed when Glenn Lawrence told me that Rollo Tomasi betrayed and slandered him for working with Pearl. Thank you for helping Glenn out, Pearl. We all know how I feel about that. Philip Smith with the $5 super chat says, she also said on the video that she wouldn't change citizenship to her husband's citizenship. That's not good.
Oh, wow.
Phoenix Light Games, I was actually going to tell you this before I let you go, and this is absolutely true. He says, the reason why the women came at you, Pearl, on Fresh and Fit and everywhere else, he says, women who are respected by men of value are hated by the majority of low-value women. And this is exactly why you are hated. That's why that's why the Russian fucking porn star, the OnlyFans bitch, was coming at you, because she saw that you had the respect of the 3 millionaires in the room. That's why you catch a lot of hate from women, Pearl, is because you have the respect of men that matter. That's the point.
Well, and, you know, it's like I won the Special Olympics. Ladies, it's not that hard. The competition's terrible.
Oh, my God.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, because I think he brought up Rollo.
Okay.
I got no beef with Rollo. It's one-sided. So I'd like to say, you know, I got no beef with the guy. I think it's weird, his conspiracy theories. I think they're weird.
Oh, you work for the Daily Wire, right? Like, you're the one that's going to replace Candace?
That was the weird. That was so funny. And, you know, I really wish the bridge wouldn't have been burned between him and Glenn, because I think it shouldn't be, you know, it's got nothing to do with me. I got no beef with him. I think his work's great. And, you know, if he's going to go crazy, I can't really help him. That's my, you know. So
she is.
I never interfered with no collab. I never worked for the Daily Wire. It was just great. I could, you know, but he just, when someone wants to believe something about you, you can't really do much.
Yeah, it's jealousy. I don't think he believes. Look, I'm not gonna look, and that's wrong of me to do. I'm not gonna speculate on what he believes about you and what he doesn't. This, to me, is just flat out professional jealousy. Because, like you said, he was willing to help you when you were at 25,000 subscribers. But as soon as you passed him, that's when he had a problem with you. So look,
And I even understand it, to be honest. It's got to be super frustrating as a guy.
Yeah, who's been in this community for so many years. Yep.
Yeah, I totally get it, to be honest. It probably doesn't really seem fair that, like, I'm getting to go on a lot of these debates, and a lot of these guys have been doing it for years. And that's why I do my best to bring people on and bring people together, you know.
Sure.
But I only have so much pull. I don't work there.
Well, here's the thing, Pearl. Life ain't fucking fair, man. Life isn't fair. Dude, Rollo basically started the red pill, man. He's been in this community for now 22 years. And so while I can understand that, yeah, it would be hard for someone who's been in this community for this long to get lapped over and over again by someone who's been in this community for seemingly a half an hour, that still doesn't mean that you have to that you have to cut anyone off that has anything to do with you. To me, that it's again, he cut off the Savo brothers because of the FaceTime that you remember. I FaceTimed you, gave the Savo brothers your phone, and it was, dude, it's just absolutely insane.
He really doesn't have to do all that. He said I would pivot. I never pivot. I really enjoy this stuff. I enjoy the space. I think it's great.
Wishful thinking on his part.
I think it's awesome because you guys are the ones telling the truth.
That's right. That's right.
That's the crazy. Everyone paints you guys out to be crazy, and I think it's like the Abba and Preach. It was so. They come at all of you guys when what do? They just pander. That's
all they do.
They just pander. They're just lying for money, and you guys are being honest, and you're punished for it. So I have the utmost respect to everyone in the space, even the people that don't like me.
Wow.
So
you're a better person than me. She is Special Olympics gold medalist Pearl Davis. Pearl, thank you so much for stopping by. We'll talk soon.
Okay, bye.
All right, see you later. That is Pearl Davis. Don DeMarco to her for making an appearance. Yeah, man. I mean, look, man. Look. I mean, there's the character, guys. There's your character, man. There's your character. Rollo has been unjustly dogging this girl all this time, and she still says, you know what? I still don't have a problem with him. She's like, I respect everyone in the space, including the ones that don't like me. Well, I mean, she doesn't have to say that. She don't have to say that. She can tell Rollo, fuck you. But she still chooses not to. Shane will win with a $5 super chat. Says, we need another Tommy fresh and fit appearance again. Last time you guys broke the internet. Thank you, Pearl, for all that you contribute to the space. I do apologize. I should have read that earlier. Yeah, no one has heard from Tommy in a while. I don't know. Maybe I'm out of the loop. Nick says, Rollo is a bit jealous of her subs. Let's be honest. No, Rollo is all the way jealous. He is not a bit jealous, Nick. Rollo is all the way jealous. He is all the way jealous. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. And you want to know something? I don't think he is ever going to try to make amends. I don't think he is. I really don't think he is, man. I really don't think he is. I really don't think he is. It's at this point, I mean, he's in too deep. Like, he's called her a retard. He's called her he called her autistic. He's called her all kinds of crazy names, man. It's crazy, man. Oh, so Tommy is still hosting his own show. Okay. Satisfaction with the $10 super chat says, the trad men don't disagree with the RP because of their religion. They disagree with it because it advises men to do something they could not: date multiple women. They are envious to men who can. Oh, yes. Very, 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 very nice. Devin in the chat says, Pearl is my ABC buddy. Yeah, it's Molten Mage Gaming says, why is Rollo cool with Adam Sosnick but not Pearl? Because he has more subscribers than Adam Sosnick. That's why Rollo is still cool with Adam Sosnick. He still has more subs. That's just the way it is. Professional jealousy, man. Sorry, but it's true. Love Rollo to death, but all of a sudden now my phone has gone noticeably silent on his end. I haven't heard from him in a while. He hasn't called me, hasn't texted me. I've called him, I've texted him. It is what it is. All right, let's continue.
That is the Catholic Church. That's right. You can go and ask for forgiveness, and if you truly mean it, it is granted to you.
And then we should be advocating for women to try to change their lives, right? I agree. It's
well,
fake,
I don't have a problem with women changing their lives. What I find offensive actually is using Christianity as a grift. I just find that offensive.
And I agree with you, but I would say, if people begin to believe that the better grift is not in being a hooker, but being a Christian, that's winning the culture war.
Yeah.
Yes, but not under the guise of being changed for real. Like, if you're going to look, and this is what Pearl is talking about. It's a much more dangerous grift. At least the whores are honest with you. At least you know what you're going in. At least you know what you're getting going in. But dude, these TradCon women, man, they are dangerous.
Yeah, and I think you could argue that, but those women tend to be so damaged, they tend to do this.
Sean Morris says, you work with Pearl, Don. He wrote you off. Well, if that's what he did, that would be a very big mistake, but it is what it is. If that's what happened, then, hey, it is what it is.
same thing. And what you see over long periods of time is now you have predatory women in the church.
No, I agree.
And
I
then
agree.
oftentimes young men that don't know better end up marrying these chicks.
And so I would agree with you on that capacity. I'm just saying at the very least.
And by the way, Devin and I will be working closely with Pearl in the fall.
At least her attempt at this grift, if it is a grift.
Yeah, Francisco Franco says, will he stop dealing with Fresh and Fit for doing a show with Pearl? Oh, no. Look. Rollo might be envious, but he ain't stupid. He is not. He ain't stupid. He ain't stupid. Of course he's going to continue to work with Fresh and Fit. Fresh and Fit have more subscribers than he does. That's what it is, guys. That's what it is. The reason I haven't heard from him in I don't know how long, I don't have as many subs as he does. That seems to be, honestly, that truthfully seems to be the reason. That truthfully seems to, I mean, that's what it is. If you have less subs than I do and you deal with Pearl, you're out the door. If you have more subs than I do and you deal with Pearl, I'm still cool with you. I said it. It is what it is. I guess when, I don't know, maybe when I get to, maybe if I ever, I probably never will. Maybe if I had 350,000 subscribers, maybe I'd hear from Rollo by now, but I don't.
Shows that she believed the right side of history and the profitable side of history is virtue, not degeneracy. It doesn't mean she's not a degenerate. It just means she's being like, ooh, there's more money over here. That's a good sign.
My argument is I think it's funny how conservatives give an OnlyFans whore the benefit of the doubt, but they won't do that for Steven Crowder.
I agree with that.
And I see that same pattern of behavior.
Well,
and the reason, and I see that,
I mean,
and
I know
see
Crowder,
that same,
so that's like a
and
whole
I
thing.
see that same of behavior.
Ooh, there's more money.
Hang on a second. Boy, let me see. Nick says, why is he pissed at Pearl but not Fresh and Fit? Both have more subs because she's a chick. No, she explained it actually pretty well. And she's right, because I do understand his frustration. He's the Godfather. He's Rollo fucking Tomasi. He's been writing about this stuff since 2002, since before a lot of you guys were even born. And so for Pearl to come out to come out and shoot like a comet right into the atmosphere, 2 million subscribers in 2 years. I imagine that would probably I mean, I can understand why that would be a little bit frustrating, but don't take it out on her. Don't take it out on her. Just because she's better at YouTube than you are, you know what I'm saying? Siege D says, I just don't know why he can't make an exception for the Savo brothers and Glenn. They don't have more subs. That's why. That's what it is. Siege D says, Donovan, you're going to surpass Rollo because you stay loyal to your homies. I don't know if I'm going to ever surpass Rollo. Kevin Takeda says, Rollo said it was because of he who must not be named. No, that's his excuse. Because guess who else? See, Kevin Takeda, you know who else had Voldemort on? Myron also had on he who must not be named. Still not cutting ties. Still not cutting ties with the Fresh and Fit boys, even though they've had that same dude on. I'm trying to tell you, man. Look. If you have anything to do with Pearl, and I'm just basing this on what I've seen, if you have anything to do with Pearl and you have less subscribers than he does, he's gonna cut you off. The only way to stay in his good graces is to not talk to Pearl. If you talk to Pearl, you better have less subs than he does, otherwise he's gonna cut you off. If you have more subs than him, then you have his permission to talk to Pearl. It's a damn shame, it really is, but it is what it is. Neil Ray with the $5 super chat says, Donovan, you said the Manosphere Red Pill community will collapse. Only few true real ones will survive and create a new community. You can see cracks now. Absolutely. You're right. Molten Mage Gaming says, can someone in the chat tell me who Voldemort is? Someone in the chat put Voldemort equals and then the person. Because that's who I call him now, because it's he who must not be named. Apparently, he gets you banned on every platform. Oops, sorry about that.
Over here, that's a good sign.
My argument.
Her attempt
Tory women in the church.
No, I agree.
And
I
then
agree.
oftentimes young men that don't know better end up marrying these chicks.
And so I would agree with you on that, Patsy. I'm just saying, at the very least, her attempt at this grift.
Pug Dad says Rola's vendetta against Pearl and Coach Greg Adams is very disturbing. It's what you know who does minus putting out personal information. Well, it is what it is. It is what it is. I told him, dude. I told him on this live stream, dude. Dude. If you keep acting like Anthony Johnson, you will eventually end up with him.
If it is a grift, shows that she...
Slutmaker69 says, people right now in Rolo's live stream chat trying to start a beef with you and Rolo. I'm not tripping on that.
Believe the right side of history and the profitable side of history is virtue, not degeneracy. It doesn't mean she's not a degenerate. It just means she's being like, ooh, there's more money over here. That's a good sign.
My argument is, I think it's funny how conservatives give an OnlyFans whore the benefit of the doubt, but they won't do that for Steven Crowder.
I agree with that.
And I see that same pattern of behavior. And the reason, and I see that, I know Crowder, so that's like a whole thing.
I know Crowder, so that's like a whole thing. See, she keeps trying to lean back on that. You see that? She's leaning on her NDA one more time to keep from getting dunked on again. Sean Moore says, wait, Rolo doesn't like CGA either. Yes. The list is growing, guys.
But that same pattern of behavior at churches across the country. I see
feel
these
that way with Andrew Tate, right? Andrew Tate is someone who he got rich, webcam industry. There's some people who are still very, very against him for being a pornography peddler. He has since, he's Muslim now. He basically still believes, I did what I had to do, I had no money. So he hasn't really apologized for it. But at the same time, that's not the same.
Lauren, bitch, he don't owe you a fucking apology. Shut the fuck up.
Same person who he is today. But you still have conservatives who are, they basically blacklisted him because of that. Meanwhile, Nala, they're open arms. Now, I think that maybe it's not the direct comparison because...
now she's backtracking.
Andrew Tate is not a Christian. He is Muslim. But I do see that you have a point there. They're way more open to knowledge changing than someone like Andrew Tate changing.
Simps.
Yeah. We have this idea. We have this idea that women are born angelic and innocent until some bad man somewhere does something to her to make her become a bad lady. And then she can reform and we all clap and it's great. There's no grace for men like that. Like when men change their ways, they used to be degenerate in some way, then they come to Christianity.
Stanley Frederick. My friend, I think you are a low-key hater, my friend. You're a low-key hater, buddy. And the reason why I haven't addressed some of your more questionable questions is because I was thinking maybe you were trolling or whatever the case may be. He says, hey, Donovan, wasn't Pearl just a 304 just a couple of years ago? No, that's not true. Why would you ask that question, Stanley? Why would you ask that question? Now, you didn't really want to ask the question, Stan. You didn't want to ask the question. You just wanted to make a statement by asking a question. You don't know, nor do you care whether or not Pearl was a 304 just a couple of years ago. You just wanted to put it out there that that's what you think she was 2 years ago. And you and I both know that Pearl was not a 304 just a couple of years ago because she had just entered the space. So here's the thing, Stanley. Appreciate you. I appreciate all your comments. But Stanley, I've noticed one thing. I have never received one super chat from you, nor have I have never received a super chat from Stanley. Nor have I seen him get a membership. You come in and you do all kinds of stuff. You say all kinds of crazy things. It is what it is. Sean Morris with the $5 super chat says, finally able to super chat. It was supposed to be for Pearl, but I'm still going to give it because of TSR Live. Yes, sir. So Stanley, if you would, buddy, I respectfully request that you respect my good friend Pearl. If you cannot do that, then I can't have you here. That's putting it lightly, because you've said some questionable shit in here in the past, and I haven't really checked you on it because I figure, okay, he's here, says some okay, all right. But for you to ask a question like that, that was as ingenuine as it gets. Let's continue.
There's not as much applause. They don't usually do a podcasting tour. They don't usually come out with merch, and all this other stuff because we're seeing this as a trend, right? These ex-strippers, ex-OnlyFans girls coming to Christ. But my problem with it is it always comes with, donate to my ministry. Here's my Cash App. Buy my Jesus
Loves for $200.
Right.
I'm like,
oh my God.
Like traditionally in my church, when we had Saint Mary of Egypt was one of our most famous and most venerated saints because she was probably the depths of degeneracy for a woman. She was like a prostitute. She was a nympho. And when she converted, she did not start a podcasting tour or a ministry or, something where you had to give her money. It was nothing like that. She went into the desert alone for decades and just like prayed and became very virtuous privately. Yeah. And generally what our church traditionally...
Neil Ray with the $5 super chat says some of these, quote, trad women be fake. They marry the top 5 or 10% guy. Why you don't help build up the average Joe or 80% of guys is just hypocritical. I don't think that's necessarily hypocritical because remember, trad women are still women. And trad women are, listen, Christian conservative women are every bit as hypergamous as secular women. Doesn't matter who you follow, what you believe, whether you're religious or not, women want to consolidate on the highest value men available to them. It is what it is.
Has prescribed for women who come from that level of degeneracy is something more like a monastic path or something where, they have to take a lot of time because it's not something you just flip a switch and now I'm good. It's like it takes a long time.
Can I say one more thing? Can I say one more thing that I find annoying? I'm just gonna.
Oh shit! She's about to cook. Oh, here we go.
Put this out there.
Oh no!
These people, these OnlyFans whores, keep like, oh Pearl, I'll pray for you. I'm like, what did I do? I just said words you don't like. You got tag teamed by 2 dudes.
Like I'll pray for you.
And I'm like, you can take your prayers and shove them because I know what you're saying.
They got real mad at me when I called them hookers. That actually.
Oh, that was such a funny tweet.
Pronouns.
You got the
ho pronouns wrong.
Well, because there was a woman and she was like, how dare you call my friend a hooker, which there's nothing wrong with at all. Then I'm like, then it's not an insult. It's a description. Like,
yeah, the Level Up man says you can disagree with her. You can say that you don't find her attractive, but Pearl is still a friend of the show and she's a real one. Yeah. Like the dude came in here and he tried to get me all rattled and triggered. Pearl is absolutely disgusting. I would never have anything to do with her. Okay. I mean, why would that make me upset? If Pearl's not your type, she's not your type. Dude, Pearl's not my type. I don't think she's disgusting, but she's not my type. It is what it is. But then he says I would never take advice from her. 2 for 2. I have never taken advice from Pearl, and nor would I ever take advice from a woman. Let's continue.
She could have been like, I think you are misdescribing my friend. Instead, it was like outrage. It appeared in a Hulu documentary. I'm like, dude, I think OnlyFans is just today's version of hooking.
Yeah.
You go to when they didn't have the photograph, a guy would have to go to a building to find a woman to get a show.
Oops.
A burlesque show or something. Now, women are going on OnlyFans, and I would say people are asking, like, what's the difference between, like, stripping and OnlyFans? Why would you call that hooking? Because of the personal relationship that people think they're getting.
Yeah.
You go on the app, and you think you're talking to this woman, and she's giving you your pleasure and your titillation.
G. Lee says, just because you super chat doesn't mean you're right. That's exactly right, G. Lee. Thank you for pointing that out. And I really do appreciate that.
For money. I do want to clarify, though, there was some survey where they asked men, knowing that the majority of these OnlyFans, they call them models. Ridiculous.
I know.
Oh my God.
So I'll just say this. Knowing the survey.
And it's funny. Devin and I were having a conversation about one of the OnlyFans girls. And one of them said she was a porn star, and Devin was like, you're not a porn star, you just do porn. I was like, oh shit. Like somebody who's like a professional poker player, that's a card player. You're either a card player or someone who just plays cards.
Asked guys, do you care that you're actually sexting and having perverse conversations with men who are being paid to do it? They said, no, I don't care.
Wow.
Men didn't care. They were like, doesn't matter to me.
Because porn makes men gay.
It does.
Yeah, it really does.
There's actually an article on my Substack about how I think that happened. But this is
Did she say that porn makes men gay? I've never heard that before.
Schrodinger's feminist, right? Women are strong and empowered when they're OnlyFans models. But also, if you call them a hooker, now she's an innocent victim. And
yes,
you're mean
right.
I think women are more
I think women are more sexual than men. And the reason I think that is because when media is catered to women, it's like pretty much sexuality is at the core of it. So even we were talking about
there you go.
One
There it is.
pop star
There
who's
it is.
not a sexual.
Yeah, and as the media becomes more female focused, it becomes way more sexual. Where
Well, I
men,
would
it's
say
like
women get their
men-
power from sex. Like that's how they get into the rooms. They sleep with their bosses. They get this information. Like that's.
Stanley Frederick says, hey, Donovan, I don't hate Pearl. I just don't trust women that's in the RP space because I believe they don't represent what men want. Okay, Stanley, you say you don't hate Pearl. You just don't trust women that's in the RP space. And I understand that. But Stanley, I vouch for Pearl. Myron Gaines vouches for Pearl. Candace Owens vouches for Pearl. Fresh Prince CEO vouches for Pearl. Okay? Pearl clearly has our stamp of approval, Stanley. Yet you want to make low-key comments about her being a 304 just a couple of years ago. And even if she was a 304 a couple of years ago, what does that have to do with the truth? Right? Jordan Belfort spent 22 months in prison, but people still line up around the block to go to his talks because they know he can make them money. They know he knows what he's talking about. No one goes to see Jordan Belfort and says, "Hey, I'm not going to pay you $10,000 because you went to prison." So even if Pearl was a 304 2 years ago, and she wasn't, but even if she was, what difference does it make? She speaks the truth. She absolutely speaks the truth. Try again, Stanley. You're 0 for 1, buddy. You're 0 for 1. Dude, I'm going to tell you what, man. I would really hate to find out. I'd really be disappointed to find out that you are an undercover hater, my friend. I would really hate to find that out because that was a very, very flimsy explanation. You don't trust a woman that's in the RP space? My man, she's got the endorsement of Myron fucking Gaines. She's got my endorsement too. And you're still telling me that you don't trust her? Come on, man. Come on now. Just be honest.
It's really the only thing that women have above men is because women control the access to sex. Right. So men need to not have sex with these women because that's what's giving these hoes.
Here we go. Men need to not have sex with these women because that's what's giving these hoes. There she goes again. With the with the supply and demand. Well, if the demand wasn't there, there would be no supply. No. Men would be fucking, dude, if the top 10%ers weren't fucking these hoes, the next 10% would be fucking these hoes.
The power.
But most men can't, and that's the problem. Is women get sexual access from a much younger age, and they sleep with a small percentage of men.
That's right.
So most men are not sleeping around.
There you go.
So it's like, again, we put the onus on 5-10% of men that get sexual access at a young age, and then it's like conservatives tell men, well, you guys are the bad guys for sleeping around, and the men get to like 22, they look for a wife. None of the women want to be wives. They don't want to marry him.
That's right.
And so you're saying, okay, don't have sex till what, they're 30?
Yeah.
Good luck.
This is another big problem, right?
Tough
With the trad con right, the Christian right, telling everybody, well, men and women both should be virgins until they get married. It's like, but people don't get married till 30, 31.
Yes, and ain't nobody gonna be a virgin for that goddamn.
Here's the other big thing we need to think about. Women, even good Christian virtuous women, don't want virgin men.
No.
I wish they did, but they don't.
They don't. They absolutely don't.
If a man makes it to 25 as a virgin, even like the really nice girls at church generally don't want him. They still want the player, the guy that has experience. Because the other women, it's like a signal we send to each other as women that he's successful, he's worthwhile because all the other women want him.
Well, I don't think it's that Christian women don't want virgin men. Christian women want men who are highly sought after by other women. So what you...
Yes, and women are not sought after by other women if they're not already sought after by other women. Sean Morris with the $5 super chat says, Donovan, you said it best last week. Women are needed in this space because women only listen to other women. We saw that when Candace Owens was on Fresh and Fit. That's exactly right. That's just right. That's 100% right. Women don't listen to other women. Women don't listen to us. They do not listen to us, man. Oh, no. They don't listen to us at all, man. But they will listen to women. And that example I gave last week that Sean was talking about, yeah, dude, when Candace Owens was telling those stories, oh my God, those women were wrapped with attention. Pug Dad with the $5 super chat says Tyrese's ex-wife would be a perfect example of a woman not to trust in the RP space, way different from Pearl. Obviously.
would want is like the Chad, like Deus Vult, kind of Knights Templar Christian guy with the big jaw, who is literally like, he has all these women and he's just like stoically trying to push them away, but he manages to like succumb to your temptation.
I think that literally worked when we all got married at 18 or 20.
Yeah,
I think that worked,
like
but it's not
fantasy.
If you're telling all the women that you must, and this is what happened to me, right? I was a smart kid. I was always in like advanced classes, and it was like, I'm going to college. I was told from kindergarten, you're going to college, you're gonna have a career. And when I decided I didn't want to do that, and I had my first child at 20, everyone around me, even my Christian conservative women around me who should have been supportive, were like, oh no, what a tragedy. Rachel will never be anything. Her life is over. She's a loser now. She's never going to do anything with all of her gifts because she's just a mom. And this is the overwhelming propaganda that we've had for like 60 years now, telling women
she's just a mom. There you go.
Young girls, if you want to be a good girl and be successful, focus on school. Go to college.
There you go.
Even if that means the average woman graduates with $40,000 in debt, and then spend your 20s building your career so that, because why? Why? Because you're vulnerable if you don't have your own money. If you depend on your husband for income, that makes you vulnerable to abuse, and you should be scared.
We also have to look at what women choose and want to do. We have the freedom to do anything that we want.
Literally.
Unfortunately, women are picking to be whores.
Yes.
Like and under 35, you know, and people will dispute what exactly the number is, but anecdotally I would say a quarter of women have done some sort of sex work, whether it's
listen to this.
Dispute what exactly the number is, but anecdotally I would say
The fuck is that sound? Is that coming from them?
Dispute what exactly the number is, but anecdotally I would say a quarter of women have done some sort of sex work, whether it's escorting.
That seems high.
And there's more.
Dude, what in the world?
Dispute what exactly the number is, but anecdotally I would say a quarter of women have done some sort of sex work.
And honestly, I think the number's probably higher than that. I think the number is probably higher. And dude, 1 in 4. And that's probably a conservative number. I tell you guys all the time. Problem says it's me, Don. I farted. You stupid. I don't know why that made me laugh. But yes. Dude, I'm telling you. You meet, dude, every time there is not every time, but how many times have we seen extremely attractive women on Fresh and Fit? You know what I'd like to know? You know what? I might ask Myron about this. I might ask him to tell me. Maybe someone can run the numbers. What percentage of women who have come on Fresh and Fit have done OnlyFans or some sort of sex work? I tell you guys all the time, dude, it is very, very rare to find an 8, a 9, or a 10 who isn't sponsored in some way, shape, or form. It's very, very hard to find an 8, a 9, or a 10 who isn't sponsored in some way, shape, or form. Some sort of sex work is being done somewhere.
Whether it's escorting,
that seems high.
And there's more.
Of course, she says that seems high.
OnlyFans.
She ain't talking to the right people.
Models than teachers right now.
Did she say that there are more OnlyFans models than teachers?
There's more OnlyFans models than teachers right now. They tried to community notes me on this, but I have it. Dr. David Baker, you can look it up.
God.
And
oh my God.
This is and the thing is, and what you'll find with a lot of female stats.
Wait, what did you just
that
try
make
and
women look bad are always.
Hold up.
It's always.
Hang on a second. What did she just try to say?
Escorting.
That seems high.
Of course, you think it's high.
There's more OnlyFans models than teachers right now. They tried to community notes me on this, but I have it. Dr. David Baker, you can look it up. And the thing is, and what you'll find with a lot of females.
See, here it is. She wants to know why. Lauren, it doesn't matter why. Sweet cheeks. Doesn't matter why. The only reason why she's asking why, the only reason why she's asking why is because, once again, she wants to blame it on the men. Lauren and Isabella are convinced that the only reason why sex work exists is because men demand it. Just because there is a demand doesn't mean that men are demanding it. Oh my God. 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 Devin just informed me that we are having steak tips over mashers for dinner. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Let's continue. Oops.
Stats that make women look bad are always, it's always under exaggerated how bad women are. Like, for example, the CDC says the average.
That's Pearl banging on the table. Yeah.
Body count.
Fears. Fears with the $5 super chat says, I think the theory that porn can make men gay is because it's an escalation of the porn addiction itself. Think of going from weed to foreign fentanyl. Wow. Damn, I've never heard of that before. Damn, porn makes men gay. God damn.
Is 5 to 8 for women. But if I survey men and say 5 to 8, they're like, that would be a miracle.
Right.
Like, if you survey 1,000 people and you're actually in the field getting feedback from people, it's a different picture.
But I feel like there is selection bias there, right? Because there's statisticians, there's an entire, absolutely.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant for me. Keep going. Going. Sorry, I'm listening.
Statisticians, like trying to get a sample that's actually representative of the general population is something that people spend, like Scott Rasmussen has made an entire career, launched several companies over his ability to accurately sample. So, I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't areas like London, Miami, where absolutely girls are talking about like 10 to 15 and that's just seen as the norm. But I don't think it's fair to kind of extrapolate that to also like this small rural Midwestern town.
But even so, the issue that you're going to get, especially with younger women now, is that they're moving to the big cities. Like, I had a chick on my show. She's a virgin from the middle of nowhere. Do you know where she lives now?
New York?
London?
Miami.
Oh!
I like her. No offense. If you're watching this, no offense. But it's like...
Oh, no. A virgin from Midwest out of nowhere, and now she lives in Miami.
She's doing the same moves that even more promiscuous woman would. And she was the only out of 1,000 women, I think I believed maybe 2 that they were virgins.
Well,
maybe
Pearl, when
2,
you say that women we've had the choice for over 100 years now to do what we want, even aside from sex work. If you look at the top 20 most commonly held careers in 2020 versus 1920, they are almost the same for women. Yeah. The only thing that changed that was a big change was we swapped out farm labor for HR work.
Woo! Oh, wow. Dude. Holy shit. God damn. Rachel be cooking. Phoenix Light Games with a $10 super chat says, to add to Pearl's point, remember I told you about the solitary confinement behavior issues between men and women? Man, it was easy to find. Women, I had to do some digging. They tried to keep it a secret. Of course they did. Of course they did. Siege D says this is the first, with a $2 super chat, this is the first TSR live stream I have watched from start to end. Yes! He has been with us for the entire, 3 hours and 20 minutes, I think. I've been live streaming for 4 hours, but that was because I started out on Rumble. Let's go!
Our secretaries, nurses, teachers, daycare workers, administrative assistants, we're doing all the same stuff we did before, only now we get to pay taxes. We have to put our kids in daycare. You pay half what you make to the daycare lady. Just some other random lady's gonna raise your kids instead of you. I remember thinking this when I was 20. What a stupid, inefficient system. Who came up with this? Why do I have to bring my baby to some other lady, pay her half what I make so that she can do the job I want to be doing so I can go to my corporate job and pretend I give a shit about it?
Oh my God. Holy moly. Damn. She is cooking. Uncle Luke, 1980, who's with the $5 super chat, says, Don, what's up? Been a while since I caught a live with you. When are you going to do another collab with my guys Fresh and Fit? You're hilarious when you're on there. It's going to be soon. I don't know exactly when, but Devin and I were in the middle of a move. Her and I are moving to, the West Coast. We are moving to Reno. And so we've got a lot going on right now, but it will definitely be sooner than later.
your corporate boss instead of your husband. And then I really think that women should pretty much never leave the home. I think when a woman is in the workplace, you have male coworkers.
That's right.
You build friendships.
That's right.
You're mad at your husband, you want to vent to
That's
people
right.
around you.
Uh-oh.
I literally never leave my house.
Husband.
Yeah, like my husband and I are always home. He works from home too. So I'm always with him. I never see anyone else. The only men I see is like men from church. His family.
There you go. Isabella is describing our relationship. Devin and I, we never leave the house. We never leave the house. I do this for a living, and she works for me. We never leave the house. We don't go anywhere. Except for when we do bowling league, and we don't even do that anymore.
Our family, and I'm always with him. And I just think like there's such a gateway for cheating. Divorce rates will rise. And also, when women make their own income, they like feminism tells them you will be unsafe if you don't have your own assets.
Yep.
Then they feel more empowered to get divorced.
That's right.
It's great that I fully rely on my husband to support our family, because what would I do if I wasn't with him? Like, and we're not married legally. We're married just in the church because the legal system.
Oh my God! Unbelievable! Unbelievable. That is incredible. W. Isabella. They're not married legally. They're not married legally. They are married by the church. Okay. All right. Well, okay. Okay. Kevin Murray says, it's time for me to start my YouTube channel. Look. Look. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad that I made this decision. Just understand, Kevin, it is not easy. It is not easy. Oh, my God. Oh, you guys, come on now, man. Oh, stop it. Siege D says Donovan Sharpe equals essential part of Fresh and Fit. No, man. No. I'm never gonna do that. Now, honestly, if I never made, and this is not gonna happen, so just understand. And I appreciate you guys, but you guys know if I never made another appearance on Fresh and Fit, I think they'd be doing just fine. So I appreciate it, though. Thank you, guys.
Does affect men in a terrible way.
But the issue we're going to get into is that men are punished for being traditional by the court system, because the man, if he has a stay-at-home wife, he's more of a target.
Woo! What? Let's run that back. What did she say?
Because the man, if he has a stay-at-home wife, he's more of a target.
We're not married legally. We're married just in the church because the legal system does affect men in a terrible way.
But the issue we're going to get into is that men are punished for being traditional by the court system, because the man, if he has a stay-at-home wife, he's more of a target.
Oh, my God. White Splinter 74 says, W. Isabella. He also said, unfortunately, there aren't enough Isabellas in this country. That's right. Phoenix Light Games with the $5 super chat says, Rachel made a great point with the HR spike. The reason why women gravitate towards HR is to seek control. They want to police men's language. Absolutely. Let's do it.
And I talked to one of the guys that like calculates child support, and he said if you want to like have the minimal amount of risk, you need a chick that earns what you earn. And it does have the problems you described, but I'm saying, if we want traditional outcomes, we have to reward them, and right now we don't.
And that's what sucks, because there's pros and cons to everything, and you're never going to have a...
If we want traditional outcomes, we have to start rewarding traditional behavior. There you go.
Foolproof system. And actually, if you do look at child custody laws, and when it comes to parental rights, dads actually have more rights if they're married to the mother, because if they...
What the fuck is she... oh boy. Now see, now oh, there we are. Yep, there it is. There's Isabella. Now she's going... Now she's headed back off the rails. Now she's gonna try to sell us this bullshit on how men have more... No, they don't. Loser blah, blah, blah says you can't find another Isabella. Nah, man. Isabella is about to lean into her feminist ways with this bullshit that men have more parental rights if they're actually married to the woman. No, they don't. What the fuck is she talking about?
They aren't. They have all these extra steps and hurdles they have to go through. They have to prove the paternity. They have to do all these things.
If you're married, it's assumed paternity.
So, but that's, so I thought that too. And I actually, because I think Trent Horn said that during our debate. And so I asked like the guy that calculates child custody, and you can sign the birth certificate. I can't remember the exact name, but there's something guys can sign to get the same rights.
Okay, so that's beneficial. But even if they're not married, they still
White Splinter said I jinxed it. Yeah, listen, man, it's, it is what it is.
have to pay child support, which I agree. Child support's awful.
In California, for example, like you get, after 20 years or something, you get on alimony. And the years that, from my research, divorces have popped up, it's 5 years, 13 years, 21, and 24.
Oh.
Yeah, well, the divorce courts just screw men over. I mean, it's awful. No wonder why marriage
It's kidnapping. You can legally kidnap a child.
Jesus
and I talk
Christ.
to men it's crazy? The worst ones are military. Military guys have it so bad.
And they have pretty high divorce rates as well.
And to think about how many men have committed suicide in the last 50 years. Over 400,000 men have committed suicide. From my research, roughly 70% have had contact with family court in the last 5 years. This is literally killing men, and nobody cares. And they just say, men, man up and marry anyway.
Wow.
And I just think it's a poor solution. The courts have to change first.
And see, like if we're going to be talking about what are issues or what are the solutions here? Because we've been talking a lot about issues. So Pearl, do you think the focus should just be on changing the laws?
Yeah, I think that's got to happen first.
Hikari Swift says, hey, Donovan. I agree with Pearl, but in this debate, in her debate with, I don't know who Trent Horn is, she's been over-talking her debate opponents. Do you see this as an issue? It was getting a little annoying to me. No, when somebody over-talks someone, you know what? Someone over-talking someone gets annoying if they're full of shit. That's the only time it gets annoying to me. Like, let's just go back to Fresh and Fit. When the black bitches were da-da-da-da-da-da, that's when it was annoying because they weren't saying nothing. They were just talking out the side of their goddamn necks. But when Pearl overtalks people, it's because she's about to make a point and she's about to drop the mic. That's the difference. I don't mind people, and you guys know me. When people overtalk people, okay, that's fine. But when Pearl, and the reason why Pearl overtalks Lauren is because she knows that Lauren is arguing from a position of bad faith. That's it.
First, because regardless of what
Phoenix Light Games with the $5 super chat says, that's why women like Nala scurry towards feminists like Lauren or the church. They ignore their bad decisions and give them the benefit of the doubt. God damn. I think Phoenix Light Games might be the new Red Pill Mike. God damn.
I'm just some random chick with opinions, I can't change the laws. I think
Paris Baxter says there's hierarchy even in conversation. Ooh, that's right. That's exactly right. There is absolutely hierarchy.
Regardless of what I say, young men are looking at the market and they're saying, okay, the young women my age, one, they don't want to date me.
Nope.
Two, they have incredibly high standards.
That's
the quality is lower than ever before.
Uh-huh.
And if I want to get married, generally they're going to have to compromise on something.
That's right.
And then they're going to look at the risk that goes with it, and many men just aren't going to do it. I had one guy in Texas, $1.5 million he spent on his divorce. He sees his kid every other weekend. California, he spent $300,000 trying to get his kid back. His kid speaks another language. He hasn't seen him in 3 years. He doesn't even speak the same language as his kid.
God, oh my God. Man, that's incredible, man. Like, the kid doesn't even speak your language? Oh my God. Is it even your kid after that? Oh my God. Oh, that makes me sick to my stomach, man. Oh my God, can you imagine? Oh my God. Fucking, dude, women are fucking, oh my God, dude.
Kid. These are common, especially military, because military will go for like 8 months at a time. Mm-hmm. So many military men come back, their wife is gone, all their...
Hikaru Swift says it could be the case, but Pearl versus the Trent debate was rough to listen to, and Trent wasn't pulling any bitch babble. She just kept trying to overtalk him until he was silent. I'm not familiar with the Trent Swift debate. Hikaru Swift. All I can comment on is this one. And in my opinion, I'm glad Pearl is overtalking. So, look, man, you say you agree with Pearl. Now, see, here we go. And again, I could be wrong here, but I'm just saying. You said, I agree with Pearl, but. So when someone says, I agree with Pearl, but, what but is there? Okay, so you agree with her. Okay, fine. So what does it matter to you whether she overtalks the other side? If you agree with her, wouldn't you hypothetically want her to overtalk the other person because you disagree with the other person? No, seriously. Now I'm being dead serious here. I'm being dead ass here. Hikaru, because me thinks you're an undercover hater, my friend. If you agree with Pearl, why would you have a problem with her over-talking somebody? Let me ask you something, Hikaru Swift. Have you ever been pissed off at Myron for over-talking one of his guests on Fresh and Fit? Did it get irritating when Myron over-talked Michelle on The Grilling? Or Cheyenne Reynolds? What's that? So, I don't know, man. I think he said it could be the case. See, now you're saying that could be the case, that she's speaking the truth. He says, but the Pearl versus Trent debate was rough to listen to. I don't know anything about Trent. Trent Swift. I don't know anything about that. But I think, I don't know. It sounds like you might be an undercover hater. Because if you really agreed with someone, why would it be annoying that the person that you agree with is over-talking the person that you disagree with? Am I wrong? Like, look, seriously, somebody make that make sense to me. If I'm watching a debate and one person is over-talking the other person, and the person that's over-talking the other person is one I agree with, why would I be pissed? The person I agree with is dominating the discussion. So is it really about her over-talking, or is it about Pearl, Hikaru Swift? It sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong here, it sounds like you're being critical of Pearl because you're a low-key hater. I don't know. Mason with the $5 super chat says, that pisses me off, especially with me being military. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, oh my God. Dr. B84 with the $5 super chat says, hypergamy does not care about religious conviction. No, the hell it doesn't. Let's continue.
Stuff is gone, and people will say, oh, just, it's your fault.
Oh, Trent Horn. I said Trent. Where the fuck did I get Swift from?
You picked the wrong woman. Oh, you didn't, okay, he was gone for 8 months. And a lot of those men end up homeless.
So you think, would you agree with Jordan Peterson on enforced monogamy?
What is his opinion on it?
It was misconstrued for sure by the woke corporate press. They painted this picture.
Hikaru says, I only consider it over-talking when I can't hear the full point the other person is trying to make. I'm critiquing her debate techniques, not her facts. Why? Who cares? Okay, so she's not, okay, so her debate technique isn't up to standards. So, what does it matter? If she's still, look, check this out. If you're speaking the truth, you don't have to be a good debater. Like, I don't know if you guys have I don't know if you guys have figured this out, Hikaru Swift, but when somebody speaks the truth, you don't have to be a good debater. Am I wrong? If you agree with what Pearl says, what does it matter whether or not she's an expert debater or not? What does it matter to you? Uncle Luke 1980s with the $5 super chat says, Donovan, what's your take on the DHS having manosphere content creators on a male supremacist list and being watched by the federal government? I'm not surprised. Thankfully, I'm not relevant enough to be on the list, so I don't really have an opinion on it. Philip Smith with a $5 super chat says, do not sign the birth certificate until you see a paternity test. I say that as someone who's having his first I say that as having someone who's having his first in a few weeks. Well, congratulations. Hope it's yours.
Picture of like fat incels, neckbeards being
getting assigned women.
He meant socially it should be like a cultural pressure that there is monogamy, that society doesn't look fondly on people who are promiscuous or polyamorous and things like that.
Sure.
So basically, if people feared cancel, like imagine cancel culture. You got emails being like, you're a degenerate, how could you cheat on your wife or your husband? And people were like, no, I could not get a divorce, I'll lose my job, that kind of thing.
Well, I don't think that'll happen.
Well, I'm not saying I think it'll happen either. I'm just saying,
I think women.
Do you agree that society should be structured in that way?
I liked Myron had a tweet recently that said that women that cheat on their military husbands when they're deployed should face jail time. I like
I don't think that's far-fetched.
No,
I don't.
And that's the thing. Like,
that's
military
awesome.
men have it so bad.
You're
They
like
have it
literally compromising the national security by doing that.
Jail
sort of
time.
thing.
Yo.
Maybe not jail
It's
time,
tough, 'cause
but
I don't know that I
think
disagree.
probably-
Yeah.
Jail time,
Well, because they're getting paid. When a man or woman joins the army, if they get married, you get base housing.
Right.
Oh,
so
yes.
what happens though is they come back from the military, and what they'll do is the women will go to court and say, I've been raising the kid for 8 months. It's in the best interest of the child to stay with me.
Yeah.
Well, he's been serving our country for 8 months. How is that fair? And a lot of times women also, they can get restraining
Treason.
orders. So like me and you get into a fight, I get a restraining order, right? And then I can go to court and say, oh, he hasn't been with the kid in 3 months.
There you go.
Andrew had a woman on
Checkmate.
his show last week this is her words. She said when she graduated high school and realized she was going to have to pay her own bills, she kind of freaked out and married her high school boyfriend because he was going into the military and was going to have this reliable income. But,
boy.
several years down the line, he's getting deployed all the time. He's always busy, and he didn't pay enough attention to her. So she divorced him.
Yeah, well, no, seriously, ask. I was just at
Phoenix Light Games with the $5 super chat says, that's it. I'm calling it. Pearl's documentary on men's unfortunate outcomes with divorce will be the documentary of the year. Please give her my support. I most certainly will. I can't wait till that comes out. I really can't wait till that comes out, man. Oh my God.
and this is what you.
Clement Ekpo says, maybe over-talking just triggers him. No, it's not the over-talking that triggers him. It's Pearl Davis that triggers him. That's why he is no longer defending his position. Because he knows that he does not have a good he knows, Hikaru Swift knows that he says, I support Pearl, but what? Anybody who comes in here and says, I support Pearl, but is a low-key.
Oh, man. Hey.
That's why he hasn't clarified his position. He tried to blame it on over-talking with this whole other guy. I've already forgotten his fucking name already. But when I told Hikaru, look, I'm not talking about that. I've never seen that. I don't know who you're talking about. I'm talking about Pearl. He hasn't said anything since. Because maybe he's thinking, you know what? Maybe I do not just like Pearl. Maybe I do just not like Pearl.
You start to notice patterns. Ask any military guy if he knows someone that has a divorce horror story. They all do.
Yeah. Sorry, I was going to say, like, I myself, and I know a lot of other women who would flat out just not date anyone actively in the military because you have to assume they're going to get deployed. So if you're going into a relationship with someone and that, like, attention is important to you, what are you thinking? Like, it's their job. They have to.
Sorry, adultery is illegal in the military.
Oh, good.
But I don't know if that applies to women or.
The issue is there's so many workarounds with this stuff. Like, they changed the definition of abuse to include That's why I say it's feminist language, because abuse used to be a man hitting a woman, and then they expand. Like, that's what women do first, is they change the definition of words. So it used to be abuse. Now we have emotional abuse, financial abuse, and there's just so many loopholes, and it's so confusing that women.
It's not confusing at all. I think it's insidious.
Can really use the system to steal children from men. And then that causes every problem in society, homelessness, school shooters, because women are raising men. And that's just not good for society.
Well, in Quebec, which is, I mean, probably the most socially liberal part of Canada, which is already socially liberal, they have done a lot of, it's one of those places where no one gets married, people cohabitate. It's so feminist in Quebec that you actually legally cannot take your husband's last name if you are in Quebec. Wow. You can change your name to whatever you want it, but if you're married and a wife, you cannot take your husband's last name.
And oh, by the way, speaking of taking the husband's last name, Devin and I, you guys know that Devin and I are not legally married. You guys know that Devin and I are not legally married. Devin is going to change her last name legally to Hopkins when we get to Reno. That is how much she loves me. She wants to take my last name even though we're not legally married. She wants to be known as Cynthia Hopkins from now on. Phoenix Light Games with the $10 super chat says, "Oh my God, Lauren, stop the cap. Anybody with common sense knows that military women get ran through. Just because they're in the military doesn't mean they don't get dick. Women find a way." Dude, I'm going to tell you what, man. Dude, bitches get ran through in the military. Shit, that's the reason they're there. That's the fucking reason they're there, man.
They won't let you.
Super bizarre.
There were too many divorces, and it kind of caused like a paperwork nightmare for the bureaucracy. So eventually they just said no one's changing their name anymore. There's a lot of divorces as well, and it's interesting because in Quebec, there's also common law marriage, which is something I don't think is very common in the state. But if you live together, are conjugally together, we are going to determine your spouses. They also have...
Or if you have a ceremony, it's like, the men say, we don't want to sign up. And they're like, we're going to make you sign up.
Exactly. Right. In some cases, they will determine couples are married, even if they say that they're not, because they want to tax them at a higher bracket. It's like, no, you guys are living together. We're going to say you're married.
Okay, all right. Well, it's 6 o'clock. This is why I started early. Oops, sorry about that. This is why I started early, because I wanted to get done at a better hour. Have a little more time with my wife before I retire for the evening. So how much I think we've got a little more time left. Yeah, I think I can probably spend a little more time on this. I don't know. I think we're past... you know what I might actually do before I react to the rest of this? I might actually watch the rest of this to see if there's any more, back and forth. To see if there's any more back and forth with to see if there's any more back and forth with Lauren and everything. So but yes, steak tips and mashers. Hang on a second. Let me shoot Devin a text. All right, sorry about that. I do apologize. Siege D says, "Glad I finally watched an entire TSR stream live." I've actually, by the way, guys, I've actually brought back. If you guys have noticed, I've got some new graphics up there. I've got some new graphics up here, and you guys can see that tickets for the CME4 are on sale. They are on sale. You can, and as as it gets further, I'll be adding details, guys. But the CME4 is going to be unbelievably awesome. It is going to be much more adventure and much less conference. Yes, we will have a speech or two here. We will have a speech or two here, but honestly, there's not going to be that many speeches. There might be 4 or 5 at the very most. But we are going to be outside. We're going to be doing things, guys. I'm talking ATV adventures. I'm talking horseback riding. What else? Dude, horseback riding. I'm talking about sailing on Lake Tahoe. Yeah, look, stay tuned for the details. We're working on it. We're actually very, very close to finalizing pretty much everything, because we have really, we've picked the headquarters. We picked everything. We picked the headquarters, and we're locking down all the activities and everything, and how the itinerary is going to go. So it's going to be a lot of fun. This is actually this is actually the first CME that I'm actually looking forward to going to. You know, listen, don't get me wrong, I love doing CMEs, guys, but oh my God, they are incredibly difficult. They are incredibly difficult. So, all right, very good. Okay, well, that is going to do it for this, the 1068th episode of TSR Live. My thanks to all of you gentlemen who have supported me over the years. I appreciate you being with me all this time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care.